Whether the team is performing clean or unsightly, we'll cover it all here on Washington Football Nightly. I, of course, am your host, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Let's get to tonight's lead story. So, this is a pretty big game, in case you guys were wondering at home. And you don't really want to overdo the code red or, this is a must-have game. I think that cliche and expression gets overdone. Those are for the most desperate of desperate times where literally, if you don't win this game, it is over. When you say your back's up against the wall and this is a must win implies you lose this game, you're eliminated from playoff contention. Like, that's a must win game. We're in week 2. Do we want this game badly? You're damn right. Do you want to fall to 0-2 knowing you got to turn around and go to Buffalo in week 3? Hell no. Okay, in all caps. But the reality of the situation is this division is not great. This schedule, while it is tough, does have winnable games on it. Now, how good are we really? I think we're going to find out some questions or answers to some of those questions tomorrow night, because we keep thinking that we're, and I hate when we do this, and I hate to play this game because we've seen this with this team before. And this fan base can be a little irrational at times where we think we're supposed to beat teams as if we're that guy. And I've said this, we're not that guy. Teams are circling us on the schedule saying, hey, we better beat them. They finished 7-9 last year. See, we conveniently forget, some of you, not all of you, that we were 7-9 last year. Some of you think about it as we won the division. We were a playoff team. We hosted a playoff game. Yeah, all of that is true, but don't forget you were 7-9, okay? In any other division in football, you're not even close to making a postseason. You're not even close to hosting a playoff game. But that's nor here nor there. The bottom line is we're not good enough to circle teams on the schedule quite yet, okay? We got to prove that we are allowed to look at a team and say we're supposed to beat you, and we're not there yet. But there are some games on this schedule that I think are very winnable, So is this a must-win game? No, it's not a must-win game. Do you really want to win this game? You're damn right, because you don't want to be 0-2, having to go to Buffalo, knowing that if you don't win that game, you're probably going to put yourself in a position that is going to be hard to dig yourself out of. But I made this comment on my podcast not even an hour and a half ago. The loser of this game, both teams come into this game at 0-1, right? The loser of this game at 0-2 could conceivably be a game out of first place. Bear with me. If Dallas goes on the road and loses or wins, it really doesn't matter, to the Chargers, they're either 0-2 or they're 1-1 if they win. If the Eagles lose to the 49ers, they're 1-1. The loser of this game will be 0-2, and the winner of this game will be 1-1. So the loser of this game could be a half game out of first place, or a game out of first place, literally. So it's not the end of the world. The problem for Washington is if you lose this game, then more likely than not, you're 0-3. It's not impossible to go to Buffalo and win. It's just not likely, okay? So, again, with the Giants, if they lose this game, they got the Falcons next week. They can bounce back with the W at the crib. Meanwhile, we got to go to Buffalo and find a way to avoid 0-3. So you don't want to put yourself in that predicament. And I love the sense of urgency that I'm hearing from the players this week. And I smell desperation. And sometimes desperation isn't a good thing, but in this particular case, the perspiration of desperation is a must. Because the team that wants it more is going to win. You hear that expression a lot, and I know some of you are driven crazy when people say, the team that wants it more is going to win this game. Okay? I hear you. Literally, I think the team that wants this more is going to win the football game. And I think we're that team. I can't prove that, but I know what I'm hearing from these guys. Ron Rivera, clear as day. And the thing I love about Ron, some people don't really love this about Ron. I do. Ron doesn't sugarcoat. Ron is very blunt. If he doesn't want to tell you something, he'll tell you, I don't want to get into that. And he says, hey, I purposefully didn't get the injury report, so I didn't have to tell you guys about it. I don't know. Ron also is very blunt when he talks about the schedule. And a lot of coaches like to take the approach of one game at a time. We're not looking ahead. We're focused on the Giants. And I get that. And if that's your approach as a head coach, more power to you. I got nothing against you with that approach. Okay? And a lot of times, that's the best approach to take. But let's keep it a buck. Who the hell isn't looking ahead at the schedule and seeing who do we have? Everybody plays that game, even the coaches that don't want to talk about it. If you know you got the Chiefs next week and you're 0-1, you're like, man, probably don't want to fall to 0-2 and got to go to Arrowhead next week. That's probably a loss. Who's not thinking that way? You'll be a damn fool if you're not thinking that way. So if you're Washington and Ron Rivera came out and absolutely said it, just like last year, he talked about breaking the season into quarters and pretty much saying, hey, look, this first quarter, it's a sunbitch. Okay, it's going to be rough. So we're going to throw Dwayne's ass out there, let him take some lumps, and then we're going to put the real guys in there to see if we can't win some ball games. He pretty much said, look, I already talked to the fellas. They know what it is. We can't go 0-2 and then have to go to Buffalo and try to get one. They know what it is. They know what it is. So there's a sense of urgency. There's a desperation. We got to get this one. We let the first one slip through our fingers, and now we have no margin for error. That margin for error went away and dissipated when we decided it was okay to lose to the Chargers at home in week 1. You beat the Chargers. Now this is a game you go in and you say, hey, we want this. It's the Giants. They've beaten us 4 in a row. They've swept us 2 years in a row. Daniel Jones is undefeated against us. Something's got to change. We need this game. We don't have another divisional game, an opponent, until December. No, we got to get this done now. But if you would have won, you say all of those things, but you say, oh, you know, we won it. But if we don't get it, we're good. One of the things I talked about when the schedule came out is I said, I wanted to start fast, 2-0, but I said, we have to go 1-1, bare minimum in the first 2. They're home games. You got to protect home. We're off to a bad start doing that. We have less home games than road games. We got 9 roadies, 8 home games this year. So you have to protect the crib. I know it's not a house that really is worth protecting, but it's still yours. Those may be some bum-ass kicks you got on your feet, but guess what? They still your kicks on your feet. Protect your shits. Yeah, FedEx Field ain't worth the damn. It's a dump. The sewage pipes are bursting. Yeah, we know. It's a dump. It's our dump, though. It's our dump. Protect the shit. Well, we didn't do that in week 1. So guess what? Now you got to do it on week 2 or else. So Ron is talking about that sense of desperation. You hear from Terry. Terry said, man, that loss stung. It stung. I love to hear that. I want it to sting. I want losing to be uncomfortable for these guys. That's why Jimmy Johnson was so great with the Cowboys in the early 90s, because he made losing uncomfortable for his team. We're not there yet, but I think some of the guys on this roster don't like losing. And until you have enough guys that despise losing more so than they love winning, you're going to have these types of games where you have mental mistakes, brain farts, miscues, and you end up losing games that you shouldn't. Terry's one of those guys that can't stand to lose. He talked about last week's loss stinging and how it took them a while to get over it. Well, short turnaround, got to get over it, got to go out and make somebody pay for the last week's loss. I don't see a better opponent to take it out on than the New York Football Giants. They're due, well overdue. I already told you about the library book analogy. They're long overdue. Time to get one. Chase Young also talked about, hey, we got to bounce back. We didn't play our best ball, but guess what? We're going to play some good ball come Thursday night. We'll see. Last time Chase said something like that definitively, Wasn't the Tampa Bay game. You know, Chase was talking out the side of his neck, but he wasn't talking confidently. He was like, yeah, I want time, yada, yada, yada. That was with a jolt of adrenaline. Last time I heard Chase say something like this, when he knew we were going to be playing on a big stage, was against the Eagles in week 17. And the time before that, against the Steelers. And both times he showed up big and his defense showed up big. So I'm looking at this defense, I'm looking at this team, and I'm looking at the sense of desperation. I'm looking at the sense of urgency that I'm hearing, and I feel confident that they understand the magnitude of this football game. I was a little worried, not going to lie to you. But Chase said, Ron is holding us accountable. I need to hear that. I need to. For my soul, I need to hear it. Guys need to know, you effed up. Fix it. And Ron went on record as to say expectations haven't changed, because for a lot of fans out there, I told you, guys, a lot of fans waffle out there. With a win, this is the best team ever. With a loss, fire everybody, start over. My expectations haven't changed for this team. Neither should yours after one game. Small sample size. You can't glean anything from week one other than we weren't good enough. We made mistakes. We lost the ball game. They'll have to be a lot better in week 2 versus the Giants if they want to be victorious. That's for sure. Anybody can see that. I don't have to explain that to you. But the fact that they've been held accountable, guys understand that they didn't get the job done and that they have to be better and that they have to win this game. They need to get this. Can't afford to drop to 0-2 with 2 home losses to start the season off. I can't explain to you how important it is to win home games, because it's so tough to win on the road in this league. And I don't really give a shit who you're playing. That's why what the Eagles did to the Falcons was impressive. That wasn't in Philadelphia. That was in Atlanta. Yeah, the Falcons aren't a good team. They still stomped a mud hole in their ass in their building. We'll have a chance to do that in 2 weeks. Let's see if we do what the Eagles did. We talk about how bad the Falcons are. Okay, well, the Eagles dispatched of them pretty damn handily. Can we do the same thing? But we'll talk about that when we get there. The bottom line is the urgency is here. That's important. Guys have to understand that the margin for error shrunk to 0 when you lost to the Chargers in week 1. Now you got to have this one. If you do not get this game on Thursday night versus the Giants, then we have a problem. Again, your season's not done. And we could look up after a loss at Buffalo in week 3 and say, well, goddamn, would you look at that? The Cowboys lost to the Chargers in week 2. So they were 0-2 going into Sunday Night Football against the 1-1 Philadelphia Eagles, who also lost to the 49ers at home. And would you look at that? The Cowboys got their first win of the season against the Eagles. The Eagles are 1-2. The Cowboys are 1-2. And the Giants, they beat the Falcons. If they beat us and they beat the Falcons, they're 2-1. But they could also lose to the Falcons. Who knows? Let's just say, for shits and giggles, for the point of this discussion to be made, the Giants are 1-2 as well. They lose to the Falcons. I don't think it's going to happen, but let's just say for the sake of this argument, they're 1-2 as well. Everybody's 1-2. We're 0-3. We're 1 game out of first place. That's why this game isn't necessarily a must win. But do you really want to rely on other teams to lose ball games? Like, I'm sick of that shit. I really am. I'm sick of worrying about what everybody else is doing. And, oh, I need the Chargers to beat the Cowboys. And, oh, I need the Falcons to beat the Giants and the 49ers to beat the Eagles. I'm sick of that shit. Take care of your own damn business. A wise man once told me, you want something done right, you better do it your damn self. Sick of worrying about what other teams are doing. You win your ball games and you ain't got to worry about a damn thing. So that needs to start tomorrow night. Win, and then we can start talking about how we're getting better and how we can start to win the games we're supposed to and really make a season of this thing. You lose to the Giants, and now doubt starts to creep into everybody's mind, because if you can't beat the Giants at home, you're not going to Orchard Park and beating the Buffalo Bills on the road. You're just not going to do it. So let's go to our next segment in other news. So before we get into in other news, and I hate to rant to start the show, but that's what urgency does, is it pushes you to the brink. We're desperate. Desperation does that. It pushes you to the brink. So before we get to in other news, I want to give away these tickets. So I want to knock this out before I forget, because my brain, it races, it goes all over the place, and I don't want to forget. So let's go ahead and I'm going to share the screen. Let's see. Let's get this thing right. Share screen. And there we go. I'm going to share that. I'm going to go back to the tab. I'm going to do it from this computer. It'll make it easier. And we'll share this screen real quick. And we'll pick a winner. All right. Good luck to all of you who are Mob Squad members. Here we go. All right, let's see. I got to double check because, you know, a lot of people who aren't technically members of the mob, and I knew that this was going to happen, so I'm not mad. They decided they wanted to enter into the sweepstakes as well. So let's check and see if Theo Chambers is a member of the mob, because I don't think he is, honestly. But I'm going to double check anyway. I could be wrong. I am wrong. Theo is a member of the mob. I apologize, Theo. Congratulations, Theo Chambers. First and foremost, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. I stand corrected. And also, Theo, thank you for following directions, using the hashtag, and congratulations. You've got 2 tickets to tomorrow night's game versus the New York Football Giants. All you have to do, Theo, is hit me up in the DMs on Twitter. That's the easiest, fastest way to do it, with your email address. If you don't have a Twitter account, then hit me on IG. You don't have an IG account, everybody's got an email. You wouldn't have a YouTube channel without one, or a YouTube name or handle without one. So email me your email, and that's all I need to transfer you the tickets, and you're on your way. 2 tickets to the Giants game tomorrow night. Pack your bags, you leave tonight. All right. So now that that is out of the way, want to talk about the injury report for Sunday's game. And then we'll come back around, and I'm going to explain to some of you. I think most of you already know this. You guys are diehard, hardcore fans. You follow everything. Some of the things you follow closely, more closely than I do. So you know where the title came from. But if you don't, I'll explain in a second, and why that continues to further the legend of Heinicke. Let's take a look, though, at the injury report. Let's take another closer look at the injury report. So as we know, for us, it's pretty clean, man. Ryan Fitzpatrick on IR, not a factor. We already knew that. Antonio Gibson, shoulder from last week, really minor deal. Full participant on Wednesday, as well as or Tuesday, as well as Thursday, Wednesday, and he's not even listed on the injury report. He's going to play. So we don't have any guys on the injury report, frankly. That is, for a short turnaround on a Thursday night, that's impressive. Let's keep the party going. Knock on a little bit of wood. As for the Giants, every single one of their guys that didn't practice on Tuesday, and we talked about that, like, hey, you know, one of these guys may emerge on Wednesday, limited, you know, basis and go. No, all of those guys, and I told you, because this was a short week, it was going to hurt some of these guys that may have been able to play had this been a Sunday game, but because it's a Thursday game and you don't get the amount of time for rehab, that there were going to be some guys that may not be able to play. And all three of those guys who are key contributors for the Giants, Cam Brown at the linebacker position, Evan Ingram, as we know, has been a thorn in our side as Washington football team, a tight end for the Giants. And Shane Lemieux is a starting guard. I believe they're starting left guard, if I'm not mistaken, for the New York Giants. All of them are going to be out in this game. The line already was not all that great to begin with. Now they're losing one of their young offensive linemen in this game. So we need to take full advantage of that. Saquon Barkley is questionable. He's going to play, okay? There's no doubt about that. He's not going to miss this football game. So wouldn't hold my breath there. But hell, you're getting 3 out of the 4 guys on the injury report to not play. That's a win for us. Last week, we took the L because we didn't have Curtis Samuel and the Chargers had Austin Eckler. We're not taking the L on this one. We're the winners here. Hopefully that translates to the field for the good guys. So let's now talk about something that I think most of you already know about. You've probably seen the video clip. I have, and I'm pretty sure you have. If I have, I know you have, because you guys usually see things before me and you're sending it to me. So where did the title of the video come from? You know, I'm not an F-bomb guy. You guys know that. If you've been watching me long enough, I don't do F-bombs, okay? They're the nastiest, most vicious, swear word that you can use. I'll shit you to death. I'll drop a B word every now and again. Ass is not a real cuss word to me. So I don't want my kids saying it. So I guess it is a curse word. Damn is not a real curse word. I grew up in a house where those were thrown around. But the F-bomb, that's next level, okay? I don't do those. But someone that does do the F-bomb, and most, like 96% of NFL players and athletes in general do F-bombs. But Taylor Heinicke does the F-bomb. And I'm pretty sure you guys saw the clip of him at practice on Tuesday where he was pretty much given the keys to break the team down. And Ron does this, and they talked about it at the presser. But Ron does this, and this was something Ron talked about last year as well. Ron will just pick a random dude, break us down. Coaches do that all the time. It's not a Washington-specific thing. You just pick a random dude, unless you're a team where you want your captains or you got a specific guy, to break the team down all the time. Like, Drew Brees would always get the team riled up in New Orleans before every single game. That was his thing. If that's your situation, whatever the case may be. But most teams, just pick a random dude. All right, Pete, break us down. The next time, hey, Jim, break us down. Hey, Ron, break us down. Mike, break us down. And you walk away, and Ron comes in there. Hey, team on 3. 1, 2, 3, team. Well, Ron pretty much said, hey, Taylor, break us down at the end of practice on Tuesday. And Taylor Heinicke said, hey, we got the Giants on Thursday night. And he ran off. And the rest of the team said, F them. And I said, you know what? F them. And that's my spirit right now. That's how I'm feeling. F them. We done lost 4 straight times to the Giants. F them. We done been swept by Daniel Jones 2 years in a row. F them. We need this one. F the Giants. It ain't about the Giants. It's about us. It's about us. That's the way it should be. That's the way it always should be. Anyway, so that's where the title came from. All right? F them. So the legend of Taylor Heinicke, the legend of Heinicke, TLH, is growing, man. The dude's got infinite swag. All right? And the players know it. They gravitate towards him. He's instant energy. And he's got the play on the field to back it up. Small sample size, I know. And he could wet the bed on Thursday night. I'm not banking on it, though. This kid, I told you, I've watched him since college. He's always risen to the occasion. And I think he's in a spot now where he's like, man, I'm ready to let it rip. I'm ready to show these guys I can do this. He's dying for the opportunity. He's going to get it. And I think he's going to make the most of it. The legend of Heinicke, it grows. Giants on Thursday night, F them. So, with that said, we got one more thing we need to do before we get to social media maneuvers, and that's go behind enemy lines. But you know what? Let's go ahead and go to social media maneuvers because I don't want to miss any super chats. And I know a lot of you are commenting, and generally that's what happens, is that you get a whole bunch of comments. It pushes comments out of there. And next thing you know, you're missing a whole bunch of comments. I don't want to do that. So let's get to all of the super chats that are in the comment section right now. And we're going to start off the night with a brand new member of the MOBB. And this is David Hardy. Stand up, David. You are now officially in the building as a member of the MOBB. David Hardy, welcome to the mob. You know what to do, squad. Show David some love as a bronze member of the MOBB. Thank you for your membership and welcome aboard. All right. Brandon McCloskey, my guy, B-Mac. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, first and foremost, thank you for being a member of the mob, B-Mac. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Lou, you are high on Heinicke. I am. To me, this is a must-win game. We can't go to Buffalo 0-2. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't like the phrase must win unless literally you have to win it. There are situations like the division. So when I hear code red, which we all know what code red is in Washington, and that was a code red situation for Jay Gruden and Kirk Cousins back in 2015 against Tampa Bay. Like, we were going into our bye week, heads were going to roll, somebody was going to be fired, and Kirk probably was going to be benched. So yeah, that was code red. And when I hear must win, when I hear code red, I think of this is the point of no return. You lose this game and it's over. The division hasn't declared itself as good enough to put anybody to bed despite a bad start. This division could be much like it was last year. I don't think it will ultimately, but we don't know that for sure yet because every team, with the exception of the Eagles, lost in week 1. So right now, it's still trending towards being a similar division to what it was last year. Remember, we were 1-5 last year, and I think we might have been a game out of first place at 1-5. We went into the bye week at 2-5 after beating Dallas, and I think we might have been a game out of first place at 2-5. I think the I don't know. We might have been in first place at 2-5 for all I know. Now that I'm thinking about it, because the Giants, they got their first win off of us the week prior to us beating Dallas. And the Eagles might have started off, better than 1-5, whatever the case. I don't care. But bottom line is, it's not must win because the division hasn't declared itself better yet. Now, if the Eagles beat the 49ers and they're 2-0, okay. Yeah. Then this all of a sudden takes on a different meaning. Sure. Absolutely. But for right now, we need to get it. It's a need to win, not a must win. You need to win this game, but I get where you're coming from. And yes, I am high on Heinicke because I've watched this guy play a lot of football. Like a lot of you have only watched him in a Washington uniform. My admiration for Taylor Heinicke comes from him playing for my alma mater. Okay. I've watched this guy play in some big time games. I watched him play on the road at NC State and have a chance and had us winning in the second quarter of that ball game against NC State. Like, I know this guy can play ball. So, I'm confident in his abilities because of what I've watched him do, not just with us, but even back to college. I didn't know if he could do that in the NFL. I saw him do it in college consistently. I didn't know if he could do it in the NFL. I was rooting for him. Because remember, back when he got into the league, and no player had ever been drafted by ODU, and he wasn't drafted. He was undrafted. But ODU didn't have any players in the league. He was the first one. So I followed him in Minnesota. I followed him when he got to Carolina. But when he got to Washington, I said, okay, show me the guy that I saw as a Monarch. Show me that guy. And I saw that guy. And I realized he can do it. He can do it. It was all about confidence. He's got confidence now. He's swagged out. What happened when he was first in Carolina was He put a lot of pressure on himself. Don't know how many opportunities I'm going to get, but I need to play well. And he didn't. He tried to make every single play, and he turned the football over, and then he got hurt to exacerbate that problem. So then he's thinking that his football career is over. He's studying to take a test, to get a degree so that he can move on to the next phase of his life. He gets a phone call that he didn't think was coming. And now he's got an opportunity. And you know what he said? I got nothing to lose. I'm just going to go out here and play ball. And this is your end result. Now he realizes I belong. And he's going to show everybody that. So yes, I do believe in Taylor Heinicke. The legend of Heinicke grows. Thank you for the super chat, Brendan McCloskey. Got one here from Metaphor. Thank you for the super chat, Metaphor. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Metaphor writes, first of all, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Really appreciate you, Metaphor, who writes, will losing this game be interesting or important? No, it's important. Now, this isn't a matter of interesting versus important, as Ron likes to say. This is important. Winning or losing this game is important. Both, whatever the outcome, a tie is important. Whatever happens here is going to impact our season greatly. You want to go have yourself a season, beat the Giants on Thursday night. You want this season to be one of those seasons that we look at and say, can you just get us out of September? Lose to the Giants. We may not make it out of September alive. Our season may be done before we get to the end of the first month of the season. If that's what you want, lose to the Giants. Because you're going to lose to Buffalo the following week. Barring some kind of catastrophe happening to the Bills in week 2, you're going to lose to the Bills in week 3. So I'm just telling you right now, win this game so that you have a chance. Because you win this game, we're going to play the schedule game because that's what fans do. That's what we do. You win this game and you drop to Buffalo, you drop to 1-2. You got the Falcons on the road the following week. We could clean the Falcons up. I'm not impressed with what I saw. Now, if we go in there and we think the Falcons are going to lay down for us because they're 0-3 and they haven't been playing good ball, you're sadly mistaken, and we can get our asses beat. Because we're not that team yet to just show up and a team lay down and we smack them around. We're not that team yet. But if we take care of business, we should come out of this stretch 2-2 in the month of September. And you say, hey, 2 games at the crib coming up, albeit New Orleans and Kansas City. I like my chances, though, to split that thing in half. And now let's go have ourselves a season at 3-3. But you got to win this one first. None of that shit that I just said can come to fruition if you don't win this game, because then you got to go beat Buffalo, or then you got to go beat Kansas City. You got to go win a game you got no business winning. And again, I can't stress this enough. If you can't beat Justin Herbert and you can't beat Daniel Jones, what the hell makes you think you're going to beat Josh Allen? What the hell makes you think you're going to beat Patrick Mahomes? Yeah, right. So again, you want the confidence that you can play with some of these teams? You need a win under your belt, man. You want to think you can go to Buffalo and win? You need to beat the Giants so you're going in there with some level of confidence. So this is important, man. Nothing interesting about this game. This shit is all business. It's important. Thank you for the super chat, Metaphor. Got another super chat. This one is from Sonny Rawson. Thank you for the super chat, Sonny. Greatly appreciate you. And thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Sonny writes, I was super depressed about the last loss, Lou. After review, I think the Bolts are going to be a playoff team this year. Don't want to say must win, but we must win. LOL. Can't take 6 in a row. Yeah, no, we got to beat the Giants, man. But to your point, depressed is strong. I wasn't depressed, but I was uneasy about the loss because I don't like losing. Like, if a team just comes in and they beat us and they're just better. Like when we lost to Arizona last year, when we lost to Cleveland, even though I thought that was a winnable game, we saw what the Browns ultimately ended up being. When we lost to the Rams, when we lost to the Ravens early in the season, all of those losses last year, early in the season, after beating the Eagles in week 1, I said, those are better teams than us, flat out. They're just better than us. And you can swallow those. Okay. It may be a tough pill and a bitter one, but you can swallow those pills. It's hard when you look at the team and you say, man, we should have won that game. We had no business losing that game. And that's how I felt about the Giants both times last year. Those were the most hurtful losses last season. Remember, after the second one, when Kyle Allen broke his ankle, I was dejected. I was like, okay, I give up. All of you people that have been talking about this team isn't going to make the playoffs and they're not going to win the division. All right, you win. We're done. Now, I still wasn't giving in to the top 10 talk, but I was like, yeah, we're not good enough, man. We're not winning anything with Alex Smith. Those were dejected. I mean, I was dejected after because the Giants stunk last year. They weren't any good. And we let them beat us twice. So what does that say about us? I don't know. Don't ask me. I just know that I'm sick of losing to the Giants. I don't think they're going to be that good of a team this year either. If Joe Judge is what I think he's morphing into, which is a dictator that doesn't get it, then I don't think they're going to be good this year either. And if that's the case, we can't afford to lose games to them, especially at home. They get us in the Meadowlands in week 17, whatever. We don't play well there usually anyway. We got to beat them at home, though, man. We got to win the game at home. So it's not a must win, but it's the closest thing to a must win. I get it. I totally understand. And 6 in a row, it makes me nauseous thinking about it. So we got to get this one. I'm with you, Sonny. Not a must. I won't say that, but it's as close as you can get to a must without it being a must win. Johnny Boy 26, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Johnny Boy 26. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, I'll be at the game, section 451. See y'all there. And somebody will be there. They won the tickets tonight. Matter of fact, let me get his name real quick. Theo Chambers will be there with a guest. Congratulations to Theo once again. Hit me up, Theo. Hopefully you're out there watching this right now. Hit me up. Get your tickets, man. I probably should do another drawing just in case Theo doesn't hit me. I got a backup plan. Probably I'll do that at the end of the show. So hang around, anyhow, Rob Yu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Rob Yu. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB writes. Sup, Lou? Sup, Rob? Can we please get Terry the ball this week? I'm going to talk about that when we get to the keys to the game. That was ridiculous last week. And I made mention of that 1,000 times to the point where y'all probably were like, okay, Louie T, you done already talked about not getting the playmakers involved, not getting Terry the rock in the first half, not even having a target his way. That's asinine, man. That's dumb. Like, I just can't stand it. And I think people make football harder than it has to be. When Ron sits there and says, we take what the defense gives us, that's bullshit. You take what the defense gives you when they're playing, zone coverage with 2 safeties over the top and you want to get vertical, but they're not allowing you to do it. Okay. Then if they're giving you a 5-yard completion, you take the 5-yard completion. You can't go broke making a profit. On first down, if they want to drop deep, 2 safeties, and you got a light box, run it. Take what they give you. Okay, I get that. But take what they give you doesn't impact you getting the football to your best players. Those 2 things don't, to me, coincide. Like, one doesn't impact the other. You can find ways to get Terry the ball. I don't give a shit if they're double teaming him. Okay, send him in motion. Get him the ball on a jet sweep. Get him the ball on a wide receiver screen. I don't care how you do it. Just do it. Run a slant. Hard to double team a guy when he takes 3 steps and he comes off the ball and you throw it to him. Get Terry the football early and often. I don't understand why that's so hard. If I'm a coordinator and I got a stud, he's getting the football on the first possession of the game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You don't know if it's going to be on first, second, or third down, but best believe he's getting a target or he's getting a rock. If I really, if he's struggling or if I really feel like he needs to have it, I'll just have him come in motion and I'll throw him a damn little, a little pitch, little toss in motion, little jet sweep. And it's a pass. Get it in his hands, get some blockers out in front, and let him get into the rhythm and flow of the game. It's not hard, man. Stop making this shit rocket science. It's not. Get your best players to football. I want to hear no excuses. Get your best players to rock. Rob, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, and thank you for doubling up. Double up. Rob, writes, Heinicke is in a perfect spot to prove his worth. I couldn't agree more because let's face it, we've got talent on this team. We don't have the future on the roster, so there's nobody looking over his shoulder. If he's going to play well, it may extend how long he's the starter of this football team, because we don't know how long Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be out for. You know, if it's minor and he's back in 4 weeks and Heinicke's 3-1, Ron may decide to go back to Ryan Fitzpatrick. But if he's out 8 weeks and Heinicke's 6-2 with a win over the Bills or the Chiefs or the Packers, because in order to go 6-2, you're going to have to beat one of those teams, or else you're going to lose 3 games in that stretch. But if he goes 6-2 over that 8-week stretch with a win over the Packers in Green Bay or the Chiefs at home or the Bills on the road, how do you sit that man down when he's got this team playing out of their minds? How do you sit him down? So he's got a chance. The obvious answer isn't here. He could be that answer. More likely than not, he's not the answer, but he's got a shot. That's all you can ask for in this league, is an opportunity to prove that either you are or you aren't. He's going to get that chance now. Let's see what he does with it. Let's see. Got any more super chats? Here's one here from Ishmael Benitez. Thank you for the super chat, Ishmael. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. IB writes, why not AG and JD in split back formation? Well, we don't run a lot of split back, but why not have both of them on the field at the same time more often? They did that a lot last year. Remember, we didn't have a lot of talent last year, so it's easy to justify putting both McKissick and Antonio Gibson on the field at the same time, because they were arguably 2 of our 4 best players. The 4 best players on the team offensively were J.D. McKissick, Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, and Logan Thomas. So, I mean, you didn't have to make space or room for De'Ami Brown or Adam Humphries or any of these other guys that they want to get onto the football field now. And when Curtis Samuel returns, whenever that is, him too. Right now, I'm not opposing. They did that last week a couple of times, not enough, but they did it a couple of times where both of those guys were on the field. I just want to create mismatches. That's what I'm all about. And if you put both of those guys on the field, they see that personnel on the field, they're probably going to put linebackers on the field. Then you spread everybody out and you get JD on a linebacker. I like that matchup. I really do. Like I want them to start trying to take advantage of mismatches. So I think you may see more 21, personnel this week. You didn't see a ton of it, last week. I think you may see more 21 personnel this week. We'll see, though. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Metaphor. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, bummer. Dallas lost D-Law to a foot. I'll take it, though. Yeah, I didn't know that until my guy Captain Spartan, said it on the podcast. And that's when I first got wind of it, because I hadn't checked my phone in like 2-3 hours. So I had no clue that they had lost D-Law to a foot injury for the foreseeable future. That's rough, man. Nothing worse than losing a guy in practice, especially. Like, that's tough, man. And again, with the defense that you're trying to build with and already isn't all that great to begin with, you take their best defender from them. That's tough. It really, really is. It's a tough blow to the Cowboys, for sure. Rob, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Rob, writes, more Jamin, less Bostic in nickel this game. Nah, they're not going to put Jamin Davis out there until they completely are comfortable with him and him making the calls, getting everybody set up and knowing what to do. I don't think that's going to come until the mid to latter portion of the season, if at all this year. I already told you guys when we drafted him, and a lot of you didn't want to hear this because you don't spend the 19th pick on a guy. You don't spend a top 10 pick on a guy that can't help right away. First round pick, I don't mind if it's a guy that you think can be a superstar. It just may take a little while. And that's what they think Jamin Davis has the potential to be. So at 19, when you make the playoffs, you're getting whatever is left in the first round. And, some of you wanted other guys, and that's fine. At the end of the day, I think the kid's going to be just fine. He just needs time. And I've always said that to you guys, but you didn't want to hear that. You hear what you want to hear. It's going to take some time. But I don't see him getting into the nickel yet. I don't see that happening until Ron is completely comfortable, along with Jack, with him being able to make the calls, get everybody lined up, and then knowing where to go himself and not thinking, but being able to just play and run around and do things that I don't think he's comfortable doing at this current juncture. He's got to think. It's coming at him fast right now. So he's a work in progress for sure. John Livingston, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy, JL Smooth, who is a member of the MOBB. Thank you for being a member of the squad. Who writes, I hear you, Lou. Same with us this week. Go ahead, lose to Miami, and score 16 points again. The city will be on fire. You are the better team versus Miami. Take care of business. Absolutely. And that, the Bills kind of mirror us in that regard right now. Only thing was different was that you actually had a lead, 10-0. We did have a 3-point lead in the third going into the fourth quarter, but we were never up by 2 scores at any point of the game. And so that's the only difference. But it was a game that we thought we could win. That was a game you thought you could win. You lose that game, and now you got a divisional opponent that you got to try to find a way to take care of, to get back to even on the season. Don't want to fall to 0-2, but at least you have the comfort of knowing if you fall to 0-2 that you got us coming to your building, and that's a very winnable game. It doesn't feel the same for us on the other side of that, coin. It doesn't feel like, oh, man, no worries. We got to go to Buffalo and try to get one. At least you say, we'll go home, we'll beat Washington, and we'll get this ship turned around. That doesn't feel the same way for us. So that's the only difference. But we're kind of in the same boat. You underachieve. You score 16 points. You scored 16. We scored 16. We didn't get it done. You didn't get it done. You had a chance to win. We had a chance to win. You felt like you were going to win the first game of the season at home, and you didn't. Now you got to find a way to get it done against a divisional opponent in week number 2. So it is very similar in that regard. Thank you for the super chat, John Livingston. Theo Chambers, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Theo, congratulations, man. I'm glad that you are here and responded. So now I don't have to do another drawing. You won. Get at the kid on socials, preferably on Twitter. It's easier. It's quicker. DM me and send me your email address. If you don't have a Twitter, that's fine. Hit me up on IG. If you don't have an IG, you got to email me. Either way, I just need your email address, and I can get you those tickets tonight. So congratulations. He says, oh, snap. Congratulations. Part of the perks of being a member of the MOBB. We're going to do this more throughout the course of the season. I'm working on trying to get my hands on some Chiefs tickets so you can go see Mahomes. We'll see how that goes. It'd be nice if we were actually still in it this year. That's why I'm kind of waffling as to whether I want to do it or not. Because if we stink, I don't know if anybody really is looking to go to the game to get slaughtered by the Chiefs. But if we're, 2-2 or 3-2 going into that game, or 2-3 going into that game, I think there are going to be some of you that want to be in the house. So I'm working on some more tickets. Don't worry. But it won't be the last time we do this. But I'm going to take care of my mob members, man. You guys take care of me. I'm going to take care of you. Congratulations, Theo Chambers. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, 380 watching, now up to 475 likes. It's now up to 121, which is good. But I like to see a 2-to-1 ratio. So we got 400 people watching. We should be around 200 likes minimum. So let's see if we can't keep pushing that like number up. Thank you for the public service announcement. Metaphor, greatly appreciate you. Says, what? All Giants fans here? No. Well, you know, some people, I'm guilty of this sometimes. I'll be watching something and I just forget to hit the like button. Sometimes you need to be reminded to hit the like button. It's not even a matter of not wanting to hit it. I just didn't think about hitting it. So sometimes people need to be reminded. So hit the like button, guys, if you're out there and you enjoy this content. Thank you for that public service announcement metaphor. John Perez, my guy JP, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. JP writes, Giants are not ready for that beatdown tomorrow. I already told you this once, JP. I'm not willing to commit to using the phrase beatdown. I don't think this is an ass whooping or anything of the sort. I don't think this is going to be a game that we feel comfortable and we got a comfortable lead and we're relaxing in the fourth quarter, you know, as we run out the clock. I don't think that that's this type. Until we show that we're capable of doing that, that's not who we are. How many games did we win last year by being able to get into victory formation? Literally where we weren't sweating in the fourth quarter. There weren't many. Even week one against the Eagles, we had to sweat it out in the fourth quarter to get to a position where we were comfortable enough to then run out the clock. And even then, I think we had a field goal attempt and we went for it on like fourth down just to make sure that the Eagles, you know, we ran out more clock and things of that nature. You know, the Cowboys game on Thanksgiving might have been one of the few opportunities that we actually didn't have to sweat it out in the fourth quarter. And that game was 20-16 in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes to go. So it's not like we were busting their ass throughout. You know, we ran away and hid with that game late. So I think Cincinnati might have been a game too. You know, they didn't have Joe Burrow in the second half. So 20-9, I think that score was. I think that was one of the few games. We don't have many is what I'm trying to say. So I don't see us busting anybody's ass. You don't go from, you know, losing to a team 4 or 5 straight to then just destroying them. And we think that they're actually a better team than they were a season ago. I just want to win. I already told you by 1, by 21, I don't really give a shit. I just want to beat the Giants. Period. End of discussion. I hope you're right, though, JP. Tony P56, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Tony P56 writes, what up, Lou? What up, Tony P? Do you accept Washington football team merch from your fans, and how do I get it to you? I bought this dope, and I wanted to send you one. Sure, I can send you. DM me, hit me up on Twitter. Say, hey, Louis, this is because I don't know if your name is Tony P56 on Twitter, but you know, hit me up, DM me, say, hey, this is Tony P56 from YouTube. You know, we talked about this during the live stream. Wanted to see how I could get you this. Yeah, definitely. I'll send you information. No doubt. Appreciate you, man. So I don't know what you have a dope of, but whatever it is, I'm pretty sure I'd like to have one. I think. I don't know. Maybe not. I'd like to know what it is first. Thank you for the super chat, Tony P56. Theo Chambers, thank you for the super chat. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Theo Chambers. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Theo writes, just wanted to say thanks. Not sure if I DM'd correctly. Too excited. I can check right now if I can find my mobile device. Here it is right here in my pocket. And I can check and see if you did it right now, because I don't want any complications when this is all said and done. So let me check real quick and see. Yep, I got it. I got it on Twitter. So you're good. You're good to go, man. I'll send you that soon as this thing is over. So you're all set, my man, and I'll have those to you. And you can confirm everything, and you're off to your FedEx to watch us get the dub against the Giants. Thank you for participating, and thank you for being a member of the mob. Door Gunner, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Door Gunner, writes, sucks for Fitz, but might be a blessing. Let's see what Taylor has. We will know if we need to go out and find a franchise QB or not. Hashtag beat the Smurfs. So I think that unless Heinicke has an just out-of-body experience this year and and we go 12-5, 11-6, hell, even 10-7 maybe will be suffice, depending on how it looks. Like if he's scorching teams and the defense is giving it up and we lose a game because special teams or the defense, whatever, and he played well enough for us to win, and we win double-digit games this year, maybe they rethink, needing a franchise QB. But more likely than not, I don't think they view him in that vein. And I think that they look at him as, and just because they don't view him that way now doesn't mean that's how it has to be and there's no chance for him to change their minds. This is his opportunity. I don't think anybody doubts that he can play. You go ask his quarterback's coach, okay? You go ask his quarterback's coach. And the only thing he had to say in the offseason was that he needed to stay healthy. But he was gushing about Taylor Heinicke's abilities, okay? Everybody knows this guy can play. The question is, how well, how consistently, and can he stay healthy? We're going to find out a lot about Taylor Heinicke, and not just, tomorrow night. Because there are games after that he's going to have to play. We're going to find out a lot about him in this stretch where he gets to be the starter, the unquestioned starter. Got to stay healthy, got to play well, got to take this position by the horns. So that when Fitz is healthy, Ron's like, whoa, Fitz, hold on. Sit back there. You behind Taylor right now. Man's hot. Because I think Ron right now is like, soon as Fitz is ready, we're getting him back out there. Taylor has to change his mind. So we'll see if he can do that. And oh yeah, let's beat the Giants for sure. Dre, true statement. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Dre, true statement writes. And remember when I used to call you Drew, true statement, and you used to let me slide? How dare you? I remember that. Anyway, my guy Dre writes, what up, Lou? What up, Dre? He says, first tell your OC to get his mind right this week and get Scary Terry the ball. Done. He says, he's on my fantasy. Oh, I was wondering why you were so interested. You got a vested interest there. Gotcha. Duly noted. Secondly, keep sleeping on us. I, for one, don't blame you. Hashtag rise up. Yeah, that was one of the worst performances I've seen from any team. And I watched the Packers and I watched the Titans. But after the first two possessions of the game, you couldn't get out of your own way. I mean, your coach looked in over his head. And again, it's 1 week, man. I don't want to overblow it. I didn't think much of the Falcons going into the season. So what they effectively did was they confirmed what I already thought, which is they're not very good. I thought, Matt Ryan and Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts would be enough to make you, formidable offensively, and that the defense would be the problem. But the defense actually was what was keeping you in the game. And the offense was just atrocious. And wide receiver, offensive PIs left and right. And yeah, it was a mess. Anyway, I don't really care what you do to anybody else. I just want the win up off you. I just want the dub up off you. I hope you beat the Giants next week. I really do. You're not beating Tampa this week. Hope you get your first win next week. But then I need you to remember who you are in week 4 and let us get that dub up off you. When we show up and we pull out the burgundy and gold gun and say, you know what it is, I just need you to come up off it. I don't even want you fighting. You know what it is. Thank you for the super chat, Dre. True statement. Got another one here from Metaphor. My guy, Metaphor. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, got my dustpan ready. Broom to match week 18, Lou. Hey, before you can get one, you got to get, before you can get two, you got to get one. Before you can go get the dustpan, you need to get the broom first. We'll get the broom tomorrow night. You got to wait a while for the dustpan, but no need in talking about sweeping if you ain't get the broom first. Got to get the broom first. So hopefully we can get the broom tomorrow night, and then we can start talking about going and getting the dustpan. Thank you for the super chat, Metaphor. Tony P56. Thank you for the super chat, Tony P56. Double up. Thank you for doubling it up. Who writes, Excuse me. I'm sorry. It's a snapback hat. LOL. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. If you got another one, sure. By all means, send it my way. Really do appreciate you. Tony P56. So like I said, just DM me. We can figure something out. Got another super chat. This one is from Chauncey Davis. My guy Chauncey, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, first and foremost, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Chauncey Davis, who writes, Lou, Chauncey, one of the few over the hill members of the mob. I want to win just like everyone else, but you warned me this summer to be patient. Yeah, absolutely. I also want to actually have a season that is meaningful past September and October into November. I also want that. I told you already, I'm not expecting us to do anything of note this year. I told you, I think we're going to be better. It's hard for us to take that next step. Even if better means 9-7 and you miss the postseason, I'm okay with that. I don't want that, but I'm okay with that because we took a step towards where we ultimately want to go, which is being a double-digit winning team year in, year out, and being in the postseason and then having our name mentioned as a true NFC contender. That's what we want. And that's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal isn't to just have one of these one-off years like we seem to do every 4 or 5 years where, the division sucks. And it's never us being badasses and winning 12 games and taking this division over. It's us getting lucky that the division stinks and winning a bad division with a 9-7 or 7-9 or something along those lines, or 10-6 like we did in 2012, even though that was respectable. 10-6 was. But it's always us backdooring some shit. It's never us putting our foot down and stepping on larynxes and crushing people's windpipe. It's always us meekly saying, hey, can we win the division, please? If you guys could just be awful, we'll take the rest from here. No, I'm ready to go out and put people on notice. No, we run this shit, man. It's our division. You want it, come take it from us. So I've already said the ultimate goal this year is to be better. Define better. Win more games than you won last year. That means 8-9, 9-8, 10-7. All of those qualify for better than last year. 7-10 means you're running on the hamster wheel. Because technically you're worse than you were the year before because your win percentage is lower. You got an extra loss than you did the year prior. So I'm looking to take that step in the right direction. And the only way to do that is to win games against teams that you feel like you should be able to beat. And I look at the Giants and I say at home, we should be able to beat the Giants. And the last 2 times in particular, not the year before in 2019. Last year in particular, the Giants had no business beating us either game. Either game. Remember how those games started out. That second game, remember, we were playing with so much confidence coming out of the bye week. We thought we were going to destroy the Giants. And then we had that stupid Rolly Dervish, fumble, Ruski, where the shit is just rolling down the field and nobody wants to pick it up. All Logan Thomas had to do was fall on the damn ball or bat the shit out of bounds. And he dead legs it and muffs it and the Giants recover. We would have been inside the Giants' 20-yard line if he recovers the fumble. And don't forget, that was on a big game by Gibby. And he coughed it up. So that was a sign of things to come in that game. We were going to dominate those chumps. And even after that, if Kyle Allen stays healthy, we win that football game. You ain't telling me shit. I digress. Let's put all of that behind us. Let's get this win on Thursday. That's what it's about. And yet patience is definitely a virtue. And I told you, I don't know what this season holds for us. I don't think it's going to be anything massive. 10-7, I think, could be good enough to win the division. I do feel that way. Will we get to 10-7? I don't know. I was counting the Chargers as a win. Foolishly. I told you I don't like playing the the schedule game because you don't know what's what, who's who. But we just made getting to 10 wins that much harder. So now you got to probably go beat somebody that I didn't anticipate us beating, which is fine. That's why you play the games. But patience is definitely something that I've been preaching, and I'm still preaching. This is year 2 of Ron's plan, not year 4. Thank you for the super chat, Chauncey Davis. Dre, true statement. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Dre. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Dre, writes, LOL, I remember. Not just you. And yeah, we look bad. Yeah, that was funny because I was calling you that for the longest. I mean, almost like a year. And then you finally was like, bro, it's actually Dre, but it's all good. You've been calling me that for so long, I just went with it. I'm like, no, don't go with that. You know, and that was just me glossing over your name, not even paying attention. And yeah, you guys looked horrible, but you knew that. You know, I didn't need to tell you that. You know, my sister was not happy, and she didn't know what to expect. She didn't know what she was walking into. She was beyond disappointed, and her prospects for the season effectively went from really hopeful to, all right, guys, it'd be nice if we won 5 games this year. And again, it's just week 1. Could have been a bad showing. Arthur Smith's first game. He needed to find a way to settle in. He's good now. And all of a sudden, he flips the script. But I don't know. That didn't look like what I saw. But we'll see. Chauncey Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Chauncey. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes? Lou, Chauncey. Year 2 of Ron's plan. You also warned that we were going to lose a few fans early, which I fully expected. I mean, hell, some of them were ready to jump off the cliff after last week's loss. He says, I'm going to start calling you Houdini. No need for that, man. The only reason I can say things with such confidence is because I've seen the movie before. Okay. I don't know how this one ends. All right. But I've seen parts of this movie before. This one could end differently. I feel like I've seen this movie before. I hope it doesn't end like the other movies. Okay. Hopefully this sequel has a different spin to it. And I'm like, that was refreshing. We'll see. But I mean, our fans are predictable, man. They're so predictable. You know, and again, if I'm not talking to you, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to everybody. All of y'all aren't fickle. All of y'all don't fly off the handle with every loss. All of y'all aren't overly emotional and are a wreck after every game, after every play, after every quarter. But some of you are. And so, you know, you lose a game, everybody needs to be fired. Get rid of you want the defensive line coach fired. You want the offensive line coach fired. You want Scott Turner gone. He's terrible. He's not like his dad. You want Ron gone. You want I heard somebody. This is the first time I heard this one. I want Jack Del Rio gone. I'm like, what? Really? You want Jack gone? You want JDR gone after one game? Interesting. So we know how to rule. We know the rules to the game, man. I just play it. I know how it goes. Thank you for the super chat, Chauncey Davis. Jenny Perez. Thank you for the super chat, Jenny. Greatly appreciate you. My girl Jenny writes, hi, Lou. Hi, Jenny. Looking forward to the Giants and seeing Heinicke play. Don't want to see you dressed in all black like the Omen, LOL. Neither do I. Neither do I. I don't even. It was so refreshing last year when we had that little, 4-game win streak. I was like, man, I can get used to not wearing black, man. Black, what? What is black? What is that anyway? Where is that stuff? I don't even know where it is. I would love nothing more than to put the black away and save that for a rainy day. It's just those rainy days. But that was a sunny, beautiful day at FedEx Field on Sunday. And I was dressed in all black like the Omen, like I was attending a funeral. Come on, guys. Not at the crib. Not on a nice, bright, sunny day. Come on, I need it. So I hope to be dressed in all white like a knight in shining armor after this game. I fully expect to be, as a matter of fact. So I'm with you, Jenny. I want to put the black away, man. Let's hope we do that. Let's hope we do that. I don't want to be dressed in all black like the Omen, because you know what that means. We took one on the chin, and we can't afford another one on the chin, man. Chin can only hold up for so long, man. Thank you for the super chat, Jenny. Greatly appreciate you. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Metaphor writes, how about Ludini and Ron Moan? Copyrighted. Okay. Although I do like the way Ludini sounds. No. Thank you for the super chat. Rolando Sereno, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rolando writes, hey Lou, what's up, Rolando? I actually had less confidence in Fitzpatrick if Fitzpatrick was starting the game versus the Giants. I'm more optimistic with Heinicke starting. You and me both. I'm not going to lie. You guys already knew how I felt about Ryan Fitzpatrick, man. You already knew. I didn't want him to begin with. It was the same thing with Haskins. I didn't want Haskins to begin with, but he was here. So instead of me trying to prove that I was right and Haskins sucks, how about we support him and hope that he succeeds? And I hope that I was wrong. I didn't want Fitzpatrick, and everybody was trying to convince me that this is going to be different. Fine. I hope you're right. I don't think you are, but I hope you're right. But bottom line is he's here. He's a part of the family now, so I'm going to root like hell for him to succeed. I want to be wrong. Prove me wrong. But I always felt like Taylor Heinicke gave us the best chance to win. If you were going to roll into the season with this collection of quarterbacks, I always felt like Taylor Heinicke gave us the best chance to win. Or at least I wanted to see, because I already know what Ryan Fitzpatrick is about. I wanted to see what Taylor Heinicke could do. So I feel more confident in him as well. His ability to extend plays and make things happen off schedule. You know, I'm a big off schedule guy, because in this league, the teams with quarterbacks that can extend and make plays off schedule are the teams that are the hardest to defend. And Heinicke gives us that element. So I'm with you, Rolando. All right. Got another super chat here from King of the North. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, King of the North. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, "Sup, Lou? I feel good about tomorrow night, but I'm worried about Taylor staying healthy. Our QB injury luck has to change eventually." I'm not worried about it, man. I don't go into these games. Like Taylor said at the presser this past Tuesday, he's like, I don't think about that during the game. Like after the game, I felt less sore. And so that's when I kind of, felt like, yeah, man, all the offseason training, it's working. But I don't think about that stuff. I don't think about injuries to the quarterback. I don't dwell on that stuff. It's football, man. Dudes are going to get hurt. And if it's your time to get hurt, it's your time to get hurt. You want them to stay healthy, but at the end of the day, it's football, man. So I'm just hoping these dudes, Taylor can stay upright and have a chance to lead this team. But I don't dwell on that stuff. Just go out there and play ball, man, and let the chips fall where they may. So I'm not worried about him staying healthy at all. But I get it. Thank you for the super chat, King of the North. Got one here from IB, my guy Ishmael Benitez. Thank you for the super chat. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. IB, greatly appreciate you. Who writes, "White on white on Thursday Night Football as we break this losing streak. Let's force some damn fumbles." And that was something that I was going to start off my keys to the game with. But since you brought it up, I don't know if you're telling me or you're requesting that they do that. I don't know what they're wearing tomorrow night. I'm requesting white on whites, please. Okay. I don't know what they're putting on. I don't know what they think about putting on, what they're thinking about putting on. But I was actually upset that they didn't wear white against the Chargers, not white on white. I wanted them to wear, white tops, burgundy pants at home. First of all, it's the first game of the season. It's hot outside. You don't want to wear dark colors that attract the sunlight. Make the Chargers wear their dark unis and make them soak up the sun while we wear our white uniforms. That's what I thought they were going to do. That's what, if you look around the league, most teams at home wear solid color uniforms. That's what teams do, except for Dallas. They're one of the few teams in the league. They always want to wear their white tops with those, grayish, silverish bottoms. And I always say, if you want to beat Dallas, force them to wear their navy blue tops. They hate wearing those. Okay. Most teams, though, early in the season, they wear their white uniforms, which are usually your road unis for a lot of teams, because it's hot outside at the beginning of the season. So instead of you wearing your, solid color unis, you wear your white unis because you choose what you wear at home. And you make the opposition wear the solid color unis and soak up the sun. We instead decided we want to soak up the damn sun. We're going to wear burgundy tops. I thought that was stupid. But I'm nitpicking, man. At the end of the day, this is a big spot. We've always said that white on white was reserved for big spots only. This is primetime television. This is a got to have game. We need this game, and we need to break the streak against the Giants. White on white it is. I vote for white on white, and I think most of you would second that motion to vote for white on white. I hope Ron is taking notes, understands the severity of this situation, and blesses us with the white on white. Look good, feel good, play good. I think we need to put the clean white on whites on. Can't look much better than that if you're Washington. Thank you for the super chat, Ishmael Benitez. King of the North. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling it up. King of the North. Writes. Oh, yeah. F them. Damn right. I second that as well. The legend of Heinicke. It grows. F them. That's right. Donald Gray. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Donald Gray, writes, we smoking big blue pack tomorrow, Lou. #mob. Indeed. Let's hope that we smoking that big blue pack for sure. It was crazy. I was talking to my guy, Craig, who's a massive Chargers fan. And he said, hey, Lou, we smoking on that Fitzy pack on Sunday. And I was like, we going to see. Well, they definitely smoked that shit up quick in the first half. And I'm not saying that I want to hurt Daniel Jones. That ain't what I'm looking to do. But I would love to smoke a big blue pack and get these boys out of there quick, fast, and in a hurry. I'd like to jump on these boys early in this game and take any kind of confidence that they thought they were coming in with away from them. I don't think that's how it's going to go. It's family business. You know how these things go. This thing's going to be tight. And we just got to find a way to win. I could care less how it looks. I don't care if this is, 13-13 with 3 minutes left, and we got to move it down the field and get in the field goal range for a walk-off 16-13 Dustin Hopkins field goal win. I don't give a shit, man. I just want it. It'd be 2 weeks in a row of 16, but I tell you what, the 16 this week would feel a lot different than the 16 last week. That's for damn sure. At the end of the day, I just want it, man. I just want it. Bad. So bad I can taste it. Thank you for the super chat, Donald Gray. Got a brand new member of the MOBB. This one is from Irish. I could have sworn you were already a member, Irish. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe that's what it is. I could have sworn you had already become a member, but whatever the case may be. Irish, stand up. You are officially a member of the MOBB and definitely in the building. Mob, you know what to do. Irish, come on in here, get this love, man, and welcome to the squad. Thank you for becoming a bronze member. Really do appreciate your membership. Irish, welcome to the squad. Got a super chat here from my guy, John Perez. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, JP. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, JP, writes, did you hear that Giants players are starting to turn on Joe Judge? No, I have not heard that. I'm not surprised, but I don't think they're turning on him quite yet. I think if this season gets off to a rough start, they will start to turn on him. It's not rocket science. I already talked about this scenario playing itself out. You want to come in there, you want coaches and players to be running laps like they're in high school. You want to be talking to guys like you're their grandfather instead of, their coach. And you want to be treating dudes like this is some kind of boot camp, and you're not winning, and you think you're Bill Belichick. It's the same shit that happened with Matt Patricia in Detroit. It doesn't work. It does not work. You're not in college. You're not with Nick Saban at Alabama, okay? You don't send grown-ass men to run laps. You keep that shit in the collegiate ranks. You can do that to 18 and 19-year-olds. These are grown-ass men. So you got to treat them with a level of respect. And again, I'm not saying that he's not. I'm just telling you that there are reasons guys are retiring when they go to the Giants within a day or two and saying, you know what, I don't need this shit. I know what I see. And if he doesn't get results, they're going to turn on him. Because football is supposed to be fun. Nobody wants to play for a dictator that you're also losing with. If you're a dictator and you're winning, you'll suck it up. Because more people like winning than they like anything else. So I might like to have fun, but I also like winning. And I like winning more than I like having fun. So I'll take the dictatorship if that's going to get me a chip. That's why people go to New England. Even though it's structured and it's a hard ass, this hard ass knows how to get it done. So you're going to win some ball games. But if you don't have those kind of chops, you don't have the resume to back up your behavior as a coach, why the hell am I listening to you then? Why am I buying into what you're selling? I don't know if that's the case, JP, and I haven't heard anything, so I'm not going to run with this. But are you surprised if it is true? He says, I've heard his coaching is rubbing people the wrong way and made his coaches and players run laps after the Broncos lost. I don't know about running laps after the Broncos lost. I don't know anything about that. And again, I would hope that's not true, especially not the coaches, okay? Because I know if I'm a coach, I don't want to work for Joe Judge if you're going to have me running laps. I don't need calisthenics. I want to run. I'll take my ass to the gym in my spare time, and I'll run on the treadmill. I don't need you to administer me laps to get in my cardio as a grown-ass man. I'll get my cardio when I damn well please. Thank you very much. So I hope that's not the case. But if it is, if I'm a player, that's not incentive to go out and play better, running laps. Laps, to me, are a form of punishment. But as you get older, these men are trained athletes, some of the best conditioned athletes in the world. I don't think anybody's more conditioned than soccer players, but football players aren't too far behind. I don't need to be running more laps. I don't need to be running any more than I already run. I run a ton every day as a football player. Why do I need to run any more? Like, that's dumb. Anyway, I digress. I don't know if it's true or not. I haven't heard anything, but we do know that there is a history of him making them run laps when he's displeased with something. But I don't know if that's the case after a loss. That, to me, doesn't make a ton of sense, but we'll see. John Livingston, thank you for the super chat. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. I think this might even be your third super chat. Either way, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, JL Smooth, who writes, how you feeling about Sheriff and Flowers versus Williams and Lawrence? Those matchups will be interesting. Those are big matchups. I mean, I'm not so much worried about Dexter Lawrence, as I am Williams, because he can wreck a game plan. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, this dude had like 13 and a half, 14 sacks last year. Like, he He's the real deal. And so I know a lot of Washington fans always think about him and say, we could have had him, Leonard Williams, instead of Brandon Sheriff in that draft. So they took Sheriff. I think Leonard Williams was still on the board. I think. Don't quote me on that. He might have already been taken. Whatever the case may be, Williams does worry me. But the Giants, I think they're still running that 3-4 defense. So if they are, I'm not overly concerned because you should be able to handle him with two guys. But we'll see. We'll see what they decide to do. I always am concerned with Leonard Williams. Not so much Dexter Lawrence, but definitely Leonard Williams. So we'll see what happens. Thank you for the super chat, John Livingston. Irish, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And thank you for becoming the newest member of the MOBB. Irish writes, be nice if Heinicke ended up being our Kurt Warner. Not saying it's likely, but we deserve a break as fans after the years of hell we've been through. I couldn't agree more. We deserve a break. We deserve to just have something fall into our lap. And maybe Ron was the little gift that we got for all the years of strife. Because I didn't think we were going to get a guy like Ron Rivera here. So maybe Ron was our gift. But yeah, we deserve something, man. But at this point, I'm not begging. I'm not begging. In life, much like in sports, you make your own breaks. Okay. You know, when you get lucky, a lot of times it's being prepared and being in the right place at the right time. And the first part of that is preparation. If Taylor Heinicke is prepared, and I think he is, and he's in the right place, and I think Washington is exactly where he needs to be, then maybe this is the time for him to show everybody what he can do and take full advantage of this opportunity. So we'll see what happens, man. At the end of the day, I'd love nothing more than to not have to spend a first-round pick, not have to trade up, because I don't think we're going to ultimately be high enough to get the kind of quarterback that we want to lead this franchise. You're probably going to have to trade up, give up draft assets for the future. I'd prefer it if that guy's already on the roster and we can just keep building this thing. You know what my mantra has been? I want to drop the guy in the middle. Well, maybe we can drop him in Taylor Heinicke. Maybe it starts this year. We drop him in this year and we go win 10 games and make the postseason and win a playoff game and build off of it next year. Maybe not. We don't know what the future holds. I'm just taking it one game at a time. Let's beat the Giants. Then we could talk about the Bills on the road. Then we could talk about the Falcons at home or on the road at Atlanta. Then we could talk about the Saints at the crib. Then we could talk about the Chiefs at the crib the week after that. Let's take it one at a time, though. Giants, Thursday night. Gotta have it. Really need it. Let's get that one first. Let's play well, find a way to win that one, and then we'll move forward from there. Thank you for the super chat, Irish. Rolando Cedeno. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Rolando. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Rolando writes, agree, white tops. I'm old school. Always white tops at home. Honestly, should be worn against the Chiefs. I'm greedy. I want a blowout. He said, honestly, white on white should be worn against the Chiefs. I mean, that's a 1:00 game on a Sunday. Nobody else will be watching but Washington and Chiefs fans. I don't think that's a spot you rock the white on whites, honestly. I think you save the white on whites for big spots. Like I've said this, I think I said this on another program. I don't want the white on whites to become irrelevant, like to lose its luster because you're just putting them on just because. A random matchup in week 6 that's not televised, that's not, America's game of the week or something like that. Nah, we don't need to do that. Just wear the white tops, burgundy bottoms, and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. I don't know what they're gonna do, but white on whites. I think this situation calls for white on whites, honestly. And who doesn't want to blow out, Rolando? Everybody, we all want to blow out the Giants, but just be realistic with yourself. How likely is it that this team that didn't score 30 a single time last year and started out this year with a 16-point performance, how likely is it? And the Giants aren't terrible defensively. Let's get that straight as well. How likely is it that we blow the Giants out? It's not very likely at all. Okay. So I'm not gonna, put myself in a position where I'm looking for something that is more likely than not gonna take place. I just want to win. I told you, I don't care how it looks. I don't care if we won this game 7-6. I just want to win. Okay. Oh man. Bottom line is I just want to win. Red Wings 01. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Feel like this is your second one, but I'm not sure. We're just gonna double up in the double up. When in doubt, double it up. Red Wings 01 writes, Leno and Cosme versus Aziz Ojulari and Lorenzo Carter? Question mark. I mean, if that's who they got coming off the edge, okay. None of the Giants' edge rushers strike fear in my heart, so I'm not worried about any of those guys. But our offensive line didn't exactly fill us up with the confidence that we can stonewall anybody, right? So, I mean, hell, Leno got beat like he stole something. The reason we're even in this predicament now, we're talking about Heinicke having a chance, is because Charles Leno got beat like he stole something by Uchenna Nwosu. So, and he was able to drop Ryan Fitzpatrick and dump him, and he had to leave the game. And so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm uber confident in this offensive line. They weren't great last week. I was actually pleased at how they ran the football and how they blocked in the run game. But that was a much lighter front. The Giants are a much sturdier, stouter front. And they're usually better against the run than they are the pass. So we'll see. Again, they're an aggressive secondary. They've got some playmakers back there, so we've got to be careful. But at the end of the day, we should be able to block it up. But I say that loosely because I wasn't expecting Uchenna Nwosu to be the guy to deliver the blow. If it was Boza, okay, I get it. It's Boza. And not to say Uchenna Nwosu is a bum, because he can get after the quarterback too, as he proved against us. But I wasn't expecting that. So we'll see. The Giants' pass rush stinks, man. Don't let us be the team that they get off on. That's all I'm going to say. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Metaphor, writes, Washington football team showing Latin Day at the game tomorrow on Twitter. I predict Berg with gold pants, though I'm calling for the whites. I smell a Chase fumble recovery to the house. I think the defense does need a big play tomorrow night. I do think that is the case. Burgundy with gold pants. I'm not a fan, but if that's what they decided to do, okay, whatever. I've already let my position be known where I stand, what I want to see. But whatever they wear, I don't give a shit. I want a dub. They could be wearing green on green. I don't give a shit. I just want to beat the Giants, man. Yeah, at the end of the day, what color combination they put on is insignificant in the grand scheme of things. I love the white on white combination as much of you out there do as well, but I don't really give a shit. I just want to win. So we'll see what happens. Got another super chat from Chauncey Davis. Greatly appreciate you, Chauncey. My guy Chauncey writes, Taylor Heinicke equals Kurt Warner 2.0. Again, I'm not willing to go that far. I can't sign up for that. I love me some Taylor Heinicke. I think the dude has some badass in him, but Kurt Warner was different. Like, first of all, Taylor Heinicke's arm isn't anywhere near as strong as Kurt Warner's. Kurt didn't have the mobility that Taylor Heinicke does, but Kurt was cerebral in the pocket. And the only thing that I think is similar is that a lot of people keep throwing out there, this guy was a journeyman and he was out on the street. And if we didn't have issues at quarterback, he wouldn't even be in the league right now. Well, Kurt Warner was bagging groceries and he was playing in NFL Europa, all right, before getting an opportunity. And the only reason he got to play was because Trent Green went down in the preseason. And you know what their coach said? Crying at the presser, we will rally around Kurt Warner. You know what Ron said this week? We will rally around Taylor Heinicke. Those are where the similarities end for me, though. I don't think he's Kurt Warner. I'd love it if he ended up having a Kurt Warner-like career for us, but I believe that's where the similarities end. We'll see what he's able to do for us, but I won't put that kind of expectations on him. He doesn't have the same skill set as Kurt Warner does or did. So we'll see what happens. Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Derek B, greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Bolts and was deja vu. Ravens, Cards, Browns D, no stops. It felt that way. It felt like some of those games last year where we were at the mercy of the other opposing team's offense, where you were just happy when you got a stop. You know what was crazy was it didn't actually hit me until the fourth quarter that we had been so bad on third downs. Even though I was watching it in the moment, it didn't feel, because we were winning. And everything that I had said pretty much came to fruition with the score and us, having a shot. And so even though they had been killing us all game, they only had 13 points at the time. So it didn't feel as bad until that final drive when they took the lead and we needed the ball back. And you're like, this is some bullshit, man. All day they've been killing us on third downs. And that's when it was magnified. That last drive when we needed it back to have an opportunity to at least give Taylor Heinicke and the offense one more chance, and we couldn't do it. And no more gut-wrenching way to have that point hammered home than 3rd and 16. So, yeah, this game definitely had some deja vu aspects to it from some games from a year ago where we simply couldn't get off the field and get stops. But every single one of those teams you named last year were better than us. And we expected those games to go the way that they ultimately did. That wasn't supposed to be the case against the Chargers, man. And that's why that one felt a little different. Against the Cardinals, against the Ravens, against the Browns, I thought we could beat the Cardinals, but after watching the first quarter of that game and seeing Kyler Murray dance circles around us and running all out, like, oh, yeah, we ain't winning this game. Didn't take long to figure that one out. I never thought we were going to lose against the Chargers until that final possession where we couldn't get a stop. Even being down, I still was like, we're going to win this game. We're going to get a stop. And remember, I told you guys that Fitz was going to score a touchdown with 2 minutes or a minute and something left, 2 minutes and something left. And we were going to have to get a big stop against the Chargers to preserve the victory. That's what I told you guys. Well, had we scored a touchdown, they would have only needed a field goal to tie it, to send it to overtime. But I thought we were going to get that opportunity. And it never came. So that felt different than those games last year. We never were in a position in a one-score game in the fourth quarter against any of those teams. Maybe the Browns to start the fourth quarter, it was a one-score game. And we might have even been ahead. But That didn't last very long. Turnovers, and Brown started running it down our throats. They ran away with that thing and hid. Anyway, thank you for the super chat, Derek B. Greatly appreciate you. Daily Grind, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB Daily Grind, who writes, have you watched Chris Harris Jr. mic'd up video on the Chargers page on YouTube? Man, he says, man, they don't know much about Heinicke except that he's a runner. No, I didn't watch it. I'll check that out. Thanks for the heads up. I'll go check that out. Yeah. I mean, you know what has amazed me over the years? And I've tried to convey this to you guys in various spots, whether it be on a podcast or on one of these platforms with the Washington football shows, is that how little other players actually know about other players around the league. We know way more about other players around the league than they do. And some of that is understandable. They're focused on themselves. They're focused on their team and how they can execute. And so they don't watch a lot of other teams' film unless they're playing against that team. That said, I guess when you do something for a living, unless you truly love it and you immerse yourself in it, when you're not doing it, you don't want to watch it on television. You don't want to, keep doing it. You're tired of doing it. You want to get away from it. And I get that. But I am absolutely floored at how many guys just don't know about other players around the league. That's why that NFL top 100 list is garbage. Because these players don't know. These guys have no idea what these other players are doing around the league. It's a name recognition thing. Oh, I was at the Pro Bowl with this guy. Yeah, he's a beast. Or, yeah, I played against him. He had a hell of a game against us. Yeah, he's a good player. Like, they don't really know. So, a lot of those guys, they didn't watch that playoff game against Tampa Bay last year. And if they did, the only play they remember, they don't remember what Heinicke was doing as a passer. They just remember that one play where he dove for the pylon. And that's a hell of a play. It's a hell of a play to remember him by, where he escaped the pressure, eluded the rush, dipped out of the pocket, got up the sideline, outraced the defender, and dived and got to the end zone. And then Chase Young comes running down, pointing at the nameplate. If you're going to remember one play from that game from Heinicke, that's the one. He didn't throw that one. I choose to remember some of the other plays, like that dime in the back corner of the left pylon in the end zone that he threw to Steven Sims Jr. with a defender draped all over him. I choose to remember that throw. Or the perfect throw at the beginning of the game to Cam Sims that he conveniently or inconveniently dropped. He can throw the football. But if that's all they knew about him, good. Good for us. It's funny that you bring that up, though, because Ron Rivera, I thought he was somewhat disrespectful to Daniel Jones at his presser yesterday. So he was asked about what makes Daniel Jones such a difficult guy for Washington to get a hold of. What makes him a guy that has beaten Washington 4 times in a row? And without hesitation, I don't even know if the reporter finished getting the last word of the question out. Ron blurts out, running. Yeah, his running ability. I'm like, ouch. Okay. Damn. Tell me how you really feel. Like, and he didn't demean him throwing the football, but that tells you they're not concerned with Daniel Jones, the passer. They're more concerned with Daniel Jones, the runner, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Because in that second game in Washington, he tore into our ass as a passer. He really did. So I don't know if that's the right approach to take, but it just goes to show you how they view Daniel Jones. And I don't blame them. But if people want to look at Heinicke as just simply a runner, okay, cool. Hopefully we can use it to our advantage. Thank you for the super chat, Daily Grind. Got another super chat. This is from My guy, Colton Pagano Jackson, greatly appreciate you. CPJ, who writes, what's going on, Lou? What's going on, CPJ? He says, just checking in, got in from work, hashtag mob. Glad that you could, come chop it up with us after work. And, help you unwind a little bit, man. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Party on down to this Louie T beat here. Talking about the Washington game on Thursday night. So hopefully we get that win tomorrow night. Appreciate you, CPJ. Red Wings 01. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, that was my first super chat. Now you can double me up. Okay. Double up. I wasn't sure. Sometimes these streams bleed together. And I did one earlier. I don't know if you were present for that and you super chatted then. I thought I saw your name already. But like you said, that was your first one. This is your second one. So double it up. Indeed. Thank you for the super chat. Really do appreciate you, Red Wings 01. Donald Gray. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Donald Gray. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Donald Gray, who writes, everyone is using proper English tonight. Classic. Look, man. It's better if you super chat and the English is clean enough. It doesn't have to be clean English. I just got to know I'm just got to be able to decipher what it is you're trying to say. What is the message that you're trying to deliver so I can convey it to everyone else? When I struggle is when, you're putting words next to one another that don't go next to one another, that make everything jumbled and nonsensical. That's when I struggle. But for the most part, I remember when I first, started doing this, it was tough. You got some really rough comments. I don't really run into that problem anymore. I don't really have too many comments. That's why I get agitated when I do, because I'm spoiled now. I don't really run into people who can't put together a sentence or two and, really get their thoughts down on us, can collect their thoughts and put them down in a way that I can understand. And so I don't really have that problem anymore. So when I do have it, that's when I get a little annoyed. King of the North, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, King of the North, writes, Heinicke is best case Romo 2.0. I take that in a heartbeat as well, without the turnovers. I take it in a heartbeat. I used to argue with Dallas Cowboys fans all the time that wanted Romo gone because he would throw interceptions. And I liken Romo, even though he was way better off schedule than Kirk ever was, I liken him to Kirk Cousins here in Washington, where a lot of fans didn't want Kirk because he was a choker and he didn't win the big game. And I would tell Cowboys fans, they would say the same thing about Tony Romo. Get rid of his ass. He sucks. I'm like, you're not even in the discussion of this division without Tony Romo. You effing suck without him. And by the way, do you remember what life was like at the quarterback position before Tony Romo? And I would go down the list of quarterbacks for the Cowboys, Quincy Carter and Chad Hutchinson and Vinny Testaverde and Drew Bledsoe, and the list goes on and on. I mean, Drew Henson, Quincy Carter, it was hideous. And yet they wanted to run him out of town. And I'm like, Washington fans were the same way. Like, you guys are acting as if you're coming off of having Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers. Like, you're spoiled. Like, you're the Colts and you're coming off of having Peyton Manning and then going to Andrew Luck. No, we haven't had a quarterback for 30 years and you're running the one guy that's looked like a semblance of a quarterback out of town? Just because you think he can't win in clutch situations? Okay, fine, whatever. And it is what it is. Romo was a good quarterback. He's not a Hall of Fame quarterback. I've already stated that. But he was a good quarterback. But he did have some competition anxiety. That was the thing. Same with Kirk Cousins. There is a little bit of competition anxiety there. I'm not going to deny that. But they were good quarterbacks. They're both good quarterbacks. I don't see Taylor Heinicke as that. I don't think he is as good as Tony Romo. I hope he turns out to be. I don't think he is. We'll see. I don't want to put any ceilings and any roofs. I don't want to put a roof or a ceiling or a limit glass ceiling on what he can or can't be. Hell, why can't he be, Kurt Warner 2.0? Does he have the physical makeup of a Romo or Warner? No, he's not as big as those guys were. But why not? Why can't he be, a really good quarterback? Why can't he be Jeff Garcia? Why not? I think that's who he plays like. That's who a lot of people comp him to. Why not? Jeff Garcia was a really good quarterback in this league for a bunch of years. Why can't he be Jeff Garcia? Jeff Garcia, multiple times, 13-3, 12-4 throughout his career, Pro Bowl appearances. Why can't he be Jeff Garcia? If he's Jeff Garcia, we have a franchise quarterback. Anyway, I digress. Johnny Boy 26. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Johnny Boy 26. And once again, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, hot take, we should have taken Justin at 2. I mean, that's hindsight now, Johnny Boy. Easy to say now because we've watched Justin Herbert. Most of you didn't like Justin Herbert, and I can tell you this. I was not, you can go back and watch. I was not a Justin Herbert fan. I said something's missing. He doesn't have the it. He's got all the tools, and I said that a million times. He's toolsy. He's got everything you need to be successful at the next level. He's got the size. He's got the arm strength. He's got the athleticism. He looks the part, but I don't think he's got the it. I don't think he's got the moxie or the mental makeup to be a leader. Well, I was wrong. I was most certainly wrong about that. At that moment, I wanted Chase Young. I had tunnel vision. If it wasn't Joe Burrow, I wanted Burrow. If I wasn't going to get Burrow, which we weren't because the Bengals were going to draft him number 1 overall, then I had tunnel vision. I wanted Chase Young, and there was really no discussion there to be had. I didn't want Tua. I didn't want Herbert. I wanted Chase Young. Obviously, if you had to do over again, knowing what we now know, that's not a hot take, really. You take Justin Herbert because the quarterback is going to win you way more games than the defensive end, as we just saw last week against the Chargers. Thank you for the super chat, Johnny Boy 26. Daily Grind. Thank you for the super chat. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Daily Grind. Greatly appreciate you. Daily Grind writes, I found it funny that Ron in his presser said they don't change the play call for a switch in QBs. They literally 2 minutes later said that they do. Ron sometimes does double talk. And then he gets mad when people challenge him on it. That is something that Ron does from time to time. It's not one of his better attributes because he'll get real chesty quick when somebody, says something to him or challenges him on something that he said earlier. And then he'll like, look. And then he'll try to, moonwalk his way out of what he said earlier. I don't really get caught up in that stuff, but, Ron's done that in the past. It's not the first time, and it won't be the last either, So that's a byproduct of talking too damn much. And sometimes Ron, which I don't mind, because I've already told you, it'd be one thing if Ron was lying to me and there was no nutritional value to what was being said. But Ron is pretty blunt. He's straightforward, and he usually doesn't sugarcoat things. So I don't mind him talking, but sometimes Ron can get diarrhea of the mouth. When Ron's in a bad mood, that presser going to be 9 minutes. But if you catch Ron on a good day and he feels like talking, that presser could be 19 minutes. So it just depends on when you catch him in his office on a Monday after a game. He's in a good mood. We won. That shit could run 24 minutes. You catch him after a loss, he's ornery. That shit is 6 minutes after a game. What you get? You catch him after a win and he's feeling good, it might be 10 minutes. So when you talk a lot, though, you open yourself up to contradicting what you said earlier. So it kind of goes with the territory. Metaphor, I don't know what the hell this is. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to even try to say it. Thank you for the super chat, though. Greatly appreciate you. And I think I know what you're trying to do. I told you you're the biggest troll in here anyway, but that's why I love you, man. That's why I love you. Ovadar the Obtuse. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ovadar the Obtuse writes, Lou, what do you think of the Eagles' performance? I've talked about that on the podcast. I've talked about that numerous times. It was impressive. They dominated the Falcons, especially in the second half of that game when it was winning time, because for a while there, it felt like a game that the Falcons, all they needed was a score to get back into it, even a field goal. It was 15-6 for the longest time. And all the Falcons needed to do was put together one drive, get in the field goal range, put together one drive, cap it off with the touchdown, and we had a ball game. And they couldn't do it. Some of it was self-inflicted wounds with penalties that killed the drives and killed big plays. But also some of it was just the Eagles saying, no, you're not going to make this a competitive game. And once the Eagles smelt blood in the fourth quarter, they put their foot on their throats, crushed them. It was impressive because the first two possessions of the game, offensively, Atlanta went down the field, right down the field, and they couldn't get in the end zone. And that's big when you can hold a team to field goals instead of touchdowns. Could you imagine the difference between 14 and 6? Huge difference. Hell, the difference between 10 and 6 is massive. Because if they're 10 instead of 6, it's a one-score game at 15-10. Instead of being down 2 scores at 15-9. So, hell, if they score 2 touchdowns, it's a 1-point game. Who knows what happens? You scored 2 touchdowns early in that game. The Eagles may not respond the way that they did. But the Eagles kept them out of the end zone, and they dominated the game. That was impressive. They dominated, I thought, both line of scrimmages, offensively and defensively. Rolando Cedeno, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Rolando writes, to make the playoffs, we know that you win with dominant D-line and O-line. If Heinicke performs, then we can make a serious run in the playoffs. You just said dominant and O-line and D-line in the same sentence, which I don't think this team is. Maybe the D-line can get there, but I'm not looking to crown this defense until they prove that they belong and that they should have that title. Because what we saw last week against the Chargers, that was the polar opposite of dominant. So I want them to prove that. And the offensive line, I thought they actually blocked well in the run game, but I told you I thought they could do that because the Chargers are light up front. So I'm not all that surprised. I will be more impressed if they do the same thing to this Giants front and also block them in the pass game as well. They have a good showing against the Giants up front. Maybe that'll have me encouraged going into week 3 at Buffalo. But I thought when the Chargers blitzed, they hit home, forced the quarterbacks to get rid of the football sooner than they wanted to. I thought there was pressure in the pocket, especially when Fitzpatrick was in the game, that forced him to get rid of the football a little sooner than he wanted to, and he took some shots before he ended up getting injured. And I didn't think the offensive line was great. So to use the phrase dominant and D-line and O-line in the same sentence, I think it is a little bit premature with this football team. Heinicke can make this offensive line look a lot better with his mobility. But at the end of the day, they're going to be plays where he just needs to be able to drop back, sit in the pocket, and deliver the football. And he's not the biggest guy in the world. So you can't be having pockets that are crumbling and he can't see in front of him. He needs to be able to have a pocket where he can stand up. And one of the things I always talk about this with the Saints, they always made sure that from guard to guard, they were as stout and as powerful as any team in the league. Why? Because they knew they had Drew Brees one of the shortest quarterbacks in the league, and he needed to be able to see over the offensive line. And the only way you can do that is if the interior of the pocket is kept intact. The integrity of the pocket must be kept inside. Those tackles that can push guys around, Drew can step up, but he needs to be able to get on his tippy toes and see over the line. Heinicke needs to be able to have the integrity of the pocket kept in front of him. If he's having guys bull rushed into him, he's going to be uncomfortable, and that's when he's going to look to retreat, and you don't want him running into sacks that way. So our from guard to guard, we're going to need to play better football, because if the tackle gets beat immediately, you might result in a sack. But if that guy wins with late pressure, Heinicke can elude that edge rusher. Step up and then vacate and get out. He can out leverage a guy with his mobility and his athleticism to extend the play. But that pressure that's right in your face, it's hard to, get around that. So I don't know if this team can make a serious run due to dominant line play. They got to first exhibit the behaviors of a dominant line. And obviously we didn't do that in week 1. So I'm hesitant to use those types of phrases when talking about this team, because nothing they did in week 1 warrants that kind of consideration at this current juncture. Thank you for the super chat. Rolando Cedeno. Metaphor. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Metaphor writes, come on, Lou. The day the earth stood still and the Jetsons. Wrong guy, man. Wrong guy. And I love me some Jetsons. I still don't know what the hell you're talking about. Wrong guy. I wish I could help you, but I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. Metaphor also writes, serious. Need D-backs to step up, win the turnover battle. Facts. All facts. All facts. Speaking of which, let's get to behind enemy lines as we have no more super chats. And let's get into our breakdown of what we have to do to win this game. So this is what I like to do every week, and I kind of feel responsible for the loss last week because I didn't do what I needed to do, and I dropped the ball. And every week I'm supposed to come up with 5 keys to the game for both sides of the football. 10 total. 5 on offense, 5 on defense. I came up with 8. And I think that's why we lost the game. So I'm back like cook crack. I got 5 on each side of the ball. Let's get into it and talk about what we need to do to get the win on Thursday night versus the Giants. So I always like to start with the lesser of the two evils offensively and go with the strength of the team, which didn't look like it last week, but I think it will be ultimately the defense. So we'll start with the offense. Washington's offense versus the Giants' defense. First things first, protect up front. So I can't stress this enough. The Giants are not a prolific pass rushing team. That's why they drafted Azeez Ojulari so early in the draft, because they do not get to the quarterback consistently. So that's not something that I want them to all of a sudden be able to do against us. We were not great last week protecting the quarterback, but we weren't awful either. We just, not to my standards. You know, something last year that we really didn't have to worry about after Dwayne got out of the lineup was our quarterbacks getting mangled back there. Our pass protection was pretty damn solid last year. You know, even with Cornelius Lucas at left tackle, we held it down. We didn't have a lot of issues. So I was really disappointed and at times disheartened by the amount of pressure that we saw from the Chargers early in the ball game. It was constant. That can't happen against the Giants. They are not a pass rushing team. Leonard Williams can't get off. We can't be having guys coming scot-free because they decided to send one extra rusher. Communicate, pick up stunts and twists, and keep the Giants at bay and give Heinicke time to survey the field and make the right decision. Protect up front. First key to the game offensively for Washington. They did not do that a week ago. Second key to the game, get playmakers involved early and often. Now, we talked about this briefly with Terry earlier tonight, but I want to expound upon that because Terry isn't the only guy that needs to be involved early and often in this game. Logan Thomas needs more opportunities. I feel like no one's talking about the fact that J.D. McKissic was a ghost against the Chargers. That's problematic for me. And I don't understand why no one is outraged by the lack of touches and targets for J.D. McKissic. He was such a big part of this offense last year. Now I'm just supposed to believe that we can make do without him and he doesn't have to touch the football? Why? I don't understand. So I think J.D. McKissic needs to be a little bit more involved. De'Ami Brown, you want to get the young fella some confidence? Get him the ball on the slant. Like, we're not allergic to slants. We can run slants. I'm watching the rest of the league and I'm seeing teams throw, 3-step drop, ball out, slant, 8-yard gain, 22-yard gain, guy catches it, breaks a tackle. We can throw slants too, Like, we don't do these things. Quick, easy completions to get Heinicke into a rhythm. Get it to your playmakers early. I don't care if it's a 5-yard hitch to Terry to start the festivities on the evening. Get your playmakers involved early and often. Key number 3, move the launch point for Taylor Heinicke. One of the things I loved when he first came in the game, on that very first possession when he entered the game for Ryan Fitzpatrick, is they moved the launch point. It might have been the second possession. Because he was really excited when he got in, and I think all of his balls were sailing. They were a little high. Adrenaline was flowing. He didn't expect to get in there, and now all of a sudden he's thrusted into the lineup, and he was putting the ball high with a lot of sauce to go on it. But he settled down, and they ran a nice little boot for him. And I was like, see, that's the shit we can do with Heinicke in there. Move the launch point. Run the little outside zone, have him pull it, and now you got somebody coming across the formation. Get it to Logan Thomas. Get it to John Bates. Get it to somebody coming across the formation. Or, have De'Ami come into tight motion. Have him look like he's blocking. You got a run play. And then De'Ami come across the formation. And you throw it to him that way. Like, get creative. Move the launch point. Don't just have him drop back under center or have him in the gun every time and the Giants know where they can find him. Move the launch point. You got an athletic quarterback. Take advantage of that. Fourth key to the game offensively for Washington. Establish Gibby, and off of that, take shots. So I thought they did a tremendous job of establishing Gibby last week. Here's the problem. I didn't think they took enough shots because of Gibby having success in the run game. Now, maybe the Chargers didn't give them the looks they needed to see to be able to take those shots, but I would really like them to establish Gibby, much like they did last week. I thought they did a really good job. I thought Scott Turner did a really good job of establishing the run game. Gibby had 20 carries last year in a tight ball game. That's the way it should be. But if you're having the success that we had, Gibby averaged over 4 yards a carry last week, then you should be able to go play action fake off of that and get some chunk plays. I'm not saying that you got to be going for the home run shot, but where's the deep dig, the 18-yard deep dig over the middle of the field because the linebackers are sucking up due to run? Like, take advantage of the success you're having and get chunk plays. Sean McVay, a lot of times when he dials up play action, it's not to take the deep shot. Now that he's got Matthew Stafford, you may see him go vertical a little bit more, but he was getting, play action fake to get the 18-yard dig, the 20-yard comeback. He wanted a chunk. He wasn't looking for the whole shebang. It's okay to go play action fake to go get a 22-yard gain. Establish Gibby, and then off of that, take some shots down the field. You saw we got a pass interference. That's just as good as the completion. And finally, you already know what's coming. You already know what it's going to be. I'm going to say it anyway, because it ultimately bit us in the tuchus last week. Protect the Duke. Got to protect the Duke. We only turned it over one time last week. Boy, was it a big one. Man, did that impact the game or what? Protect the Duke. Every time we lose to the Giants, a lot of times it's not because of what they did, it's because of what we do. And when we play the Giants, for some strange, oddball reason, we can't protect the damn football to save our lives. I think Alex Smith came in against the Giants and threw either 2 or 3 interceptions. I know we had the fumble by Gibby on the first possession of the game against the Giants. So that's either 3 or 4 turnovers in that loss to the Giants at home the last time we played them. The time before that, we had 2 turnovers, both by Kyle Allen, threw the interception to James Bradbury, and then had the late fumble when we were driving to win the football game. Already up 13-10. I think we were up 13-10. No, it was tied at 13 because we went for 2 after we scored the touchdown and lost 20-19. So we had 2 turnovers in that game. The Giants only had 1. That was Daniel Jones back of the end zone touchback after the interception to Kendall Fuller. For some oddball reason, we just don't know how to take care of the damn football against the Giants. That's why we lose to them. They don't beat us. We beat ourselves, and they take advantage of it, which is what you're supposed to do. Don't mind if I do. You want to give us a gift? We'll take it. Stop beating yourself against the Giants. If they beat us, you tip your cap and say, hey, maybe we do stink. They're just better than us. That's never the case when they beat us. We always beat ourselves. Don't turn the football over. Protect the Duke. Washington's defense versus the Giants' offense. First key to the game. Take away Giants' run game / neutralize Barkley. I know that goes without saying, but remember the last time we played the Giants? How comfortable Daniel Jones was? You know why he was so damn comfortable in that game? Because they were gutting us on the ground. Remember how Alfred Morris was digging in our ass and they were sprinkling in a little bit of the ex-Clemson back that went to the 49ers? What the hell is his name? Oh, my God. Wayne Gallman. They were killing us on the ground in that second game. That shit was so hard to watch. I'm like, are you kidding me? The Giants aren't even a good rush offense. They are killing us on the ground. I mean, Alfred Morris getting to the outside and turning the corner on our ass. This shit was incredulous. I was beside myself. I'm like, this is the Giants run game that we're allowing to make Daniel Jones comfortable. Don't let him feel like they got a 2-way go. Make him feel like he's got to beat us by his damn self. Man, we can't let that shit happen in this game, man. We got to neutralize Saquon Barkley. We got to make Daniel Jones feel like he's got to win it by himself. Devontae Booker and Saquon Barkley can't have big games. They can't have big games. They can't set up big, a drive with a big run. None of that shit. Big catch and run. None of that. Make Daniel Jones beat us. Saquon Barkley still working his way back. We can't beat a team he gets his rocks off on. Let him do that shit next week against the Falcons. That shit can't happen against us in week 2. He was supposed to be back week 3 anyway. Let him get his rocks off in week 3. Not week 2. Next key to the game, defensively. Eliminate big play opportunities. when we played the Giants last year, the final game at home, they had some big plays on us in that game, if you recall. I remember asking, who the hell is this Mack guy? It ultimately was Austin Mack from the Ohio State Buckeyes, but I'm like, I didn't remember him being in the league. Like, who the hell is Mack? And why is this clown getting open on us? The secret world of Austin Mack is wide open down the sideline. Who is supposed to be covering this clown? And why is he open down to the damn 5-yard line? Can't be giving that shit up against the Giants, man. Come on. Make Daniel Jones earn everything that he gets. The first time we played him, he had a 47-yard run against us that set up their first score. No. Why? Don't let them have explosive plays to where Daniel Jones is minimized in how many times he has to throw it. I want them going on 13-play drives because in my mind, Daniel Jones is going to F up at some point. Fumble, interception, something. The more times you make him have to do something with the football, the more advantageous it is for the defense. Now, I'm not inviting them to go on 13-play drives. I'd like for them to go 3 and out. But if they're going to drive the football, if they're going to pick up first downs, this is the NFL, they're going to move it. I'd much rather it be a 13-play drive that we have ample opportunities to try and force a turnover or force a Daniel Jones mistake. What I don't want is a 6-play drive, and one of those plays in there is for 47 yards inside the Washington 10, and now they got a chance to get in the end zone. Don't shorten the drive for Daniel Jones. We saw it against the Broncos last week. He had to put together a drive, and what did he do? He ran with the football, and he fumbled. Make his ass have to make play after play after play after play after play. The more plays you make him have to make, the more likely it is he's going to make a mistake. Eliminate big play opportunities and make them earn everything. And if they do, again, you tip your cap and you say, well, damn it, you got me. Which it seems like they do against us any damn way for some reason. I can't explain it. But at least they have to earn it. The Chargers had to earn it. That's why we were even in the game. They didn't have a bunch of big plays. That's what saved us. They had to earn everything, and they ended up having to settle for field goals. That's the only reason we were in the game. If not for Gibby's fumble, they may only come away with 13 points in the game. The defense, it bent a ton, but it never broke. Make them earn it. No big play opportunities, man. Nothing cheap, nothing deep. You know what it is. Get off the field on third downs. I never thought I would have to say this with this defense, man. I didn't think this would have to be one of the keys to the game. Unless we were playing a prolific offense and they're completing, they're converting third downs at a 57% clip. And you're like, man, they're one of the best third down offenses in NFL history to this point. We got to find a way to get off the field on third downs. That's when that was supposed to come up. Not because we were so bad defensively on third downs that this has to be brought up. We didn't have this problem last year. We got off the field on third downs. That's what good defenses do. Well, we didn't look like a good defense last week because we couldn't get off the field on third downs. They were 14 of 19 on third downs last week. Insane. That's crazy talk. Those numbers, those are fake numbers. We got to get off the field on third downs, man. The Giants can't be converting third downs at a clip like that, or we won't win. I even hate talking about third down defense because I'm just like, nah, that's not who we are. That ain't even who we are, man. We got better on defense. Are you telling me my third down defense is worse? I ain't buying it. I'm going to say that's a one-off. It was some week one tomfoolery and chicanery and nonsense. I'm going to wipe it from the memory bank, act like that didn't even happen, and I'm going to move forward with week 2 and say, all right, guys, let's get back to business. Starts with the Giants. Let's get off the field on third downs. But I got to bring it up because we were so bad last week. I hope I don't have to do this again next week. Get off the field on third downs, man. Have some pride about yourself. Fix your face. Get off the field on third down. Get to Daniel Jones and force turnovers. Look, I'm not saying anything that you guys don't already know, okay? Get to Daniel Jones, force turnovers. Sounds easy. Everybody else in the league is doing it. Not us. For some reason, when Daniel Jones plays against us, we don't seem to be able to force him to do stupid things like everybody else. And I always go back to that second game against them last year. Cam Curl comes free, has a chance to force a fumble, and instead of him going for the football, Daniel Jones had it out there like a loaf of bread. He could have stripped him. He goes for the kill shot. Daniel Jones is 6'5", 225, 30 pounds. You ain't hurting him, Cam Curl. You ain't even bigger than him, bruh. Knock the ball out of his damn hands like everybody else does. Gotta be smart. The man wants to turn it over. Help him. He wants to turn the ball over. He likes to share. He's a nice guy. Sharing is caring, and I haven't met a more caring guy in the league since Tony Romo. So let him. Don't be too proud to take a turnover. He wants to donate. Take the donation. Donation. Don't hit me. I thought it was a trash can. If he's passing around the donation plate, tell him to drop a damn turnover in there. This defensive line needs to step the hell up. This Giants offensive line is trash. It's garbage. I watched Von Miller eviscerate them last week. One play, they didn't even touch Von Miller. He's only the best pass rusher in the league. They didn't touch him. We better get to Daniel Jones in this football game. Or else I'm going to start questioning just how good is this defensive line really? And we shouldn't have to blitz either to do it. I'm not saying don't blitz, but we shouldn't have to heat his ass up. Their offensive line stinks. And if we can't get pressure with 4, this vaunted defensive line, this elite D-line, if we can't get pressure with just 4, then what does that say about us? Get to Daniel Jones, force him into a mistake or two, and let's take advantage of that shit, man. Everybody else doing it and we can't. I'm sick of it. And finally, win the turnover battle and special teams. Again, these aren't earth-shattering keys to the game, but you know what it is. Every time we play the Giants, we lose the turnover battle. For whatever reason, I can't figure it out. Why we forget how to play football against the Giants and want to turn it over 2 and 3 times and lose the ball game. Don't spot them 13 points. Don't give them an inordinate amount of confidence early in this game and have them thinking they about to win again. Don't let them jump on top of us 13-0 or 13-3 in this game. Get off to a fast start. Jump these boys in the first quarter and let them know this ain't your night. This ain't your night. The streak stops tonight. Let them know off the rip. We got to force turnovers. We got to win the turnover battle. We won it last week. I want to continue. It's not going to be many times where you lose the turnover, win the turnover battle, and don't win the game. Last week was one of those weeks where our turnovers was more impactful than theirs. I still like the fact that we got 2 turnovers last week. I love it. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's create more opportunities for the offense. I'd like to create some shorter fields. I'd like for them to not have to drive 80 and 75 and 86 and 92 for a touchdown. I'd like to create a turnover where the offense only has 37 yards of grass in front of them before they hit pay dirt. I'd love that to be the case. Be great to get an interception or a Daniel Jones fumble, scoop and score it, or scoop up a fumble and run it inside the Giants' 5-yard line. That'd be nice. But above all else, let's just win the turnover battle. We got a guy here that likes to share. Well, let him help him share. Help him. He likes to share. Help him. And special teams, you know what it is. Hold on to the ball. Create some great field position. I like what I saw out of DeAndre Carter in his first week as a Washington football team member. I thought he wore that number 1 well and did it some justice. He looks like he's ready to do some shit. I like it. I like it a lot. I want more of it. Break off something. Make them feel you. Dustin Hopkins, look, at this point, it might be what it is. You know, we send him out there for something north of 50. He probably not going to make it. Anything under that, I got confidence in Dustin. But I need it like we always do. He was 3 or 4 last week. Most weeks, you'll be able to get by with 3 or 4 from your kicker. I'm not saying that that's what you want every week. By no means am I satisfied with 3 or 4. But you can get away with 3 or 4 most weeks. We need to score touchdowns, though. You can't get in the red zone and settle for field goals like we did last week. We were 1 of 3 in the red zone. We got to find ways to get in the end zone. Score touchdowns. Don't leave this thing to chance. Don't do it. Wouldn't be prudent. So let's get to any comments that we have before I get to my final score for this game and get us out of here. So let's see what you guys got. John Perez, my guy JP, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy JP writes, I'm calling 6 or 7 sacks on Jones. Giants O-line is trash. That may be the case. We got to prove it. We got to show not only are they trash, we got to go out and make sure everybody knows they trash. And after seeing what we did last week and what we've done against Daniel Jones in the past, I'm not sure that we're that team or not. So I want to see us prove it. I need us to do it. But it'd be great. We won't even need to have 6 or 7. 4 or 5 will do the trick. 4 or 5 will do the trick. 6 or 7 is exceptional. It's a crazy week for any defense. I'll take 4 or 5. Hell, I'll take 3. I would prefer 4 or 5 though, because you're gonna impact some drives with 4 or 5 sacks, multiple drives with that. So anyway, thank you for that super chat, JP. 6 or 7, I'll just say this, that goes along with the narrative that you pretty much put out there, which is, hey, we're going to dominate these boys. We'll see. Got a super chat here from DCJ. Thank you for the super chat, DCJ. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, DCJ, writes, what's good, Lou? What's good, DCJ? Yo, my opinion, Cosme played much better than Leno. Agree? Excuse me. Also, not sure if you saw my check down comment. Thomas has a true productive night. I don't know if I saw your check down comment or not. That doesn't ring a bell. As far as Thomas having a productive night, that'd be great. We'll see if he can do that or not. Did Cosme play better than Leno? I can't tell you. I was looking for the all 22s. I could go back and watch the game copy and see what they were doing. I mean, it's not hard to watch offensive line play on the game copy. So I could definitely go back and assess the offensive line that way. I just want what I want. I want the all 22s. But with that said, I can't answer that right now. I know Cosme had his fair share of struggles. He was going against Joey Bosa, so that was to be expected. But Leno had his fair share of whiffs over there on the left side as well. So I'd have to go back and watch in order to definitively give you my opinion on whether, Leno was better than Cosme or vice versa. So thank you for the super chat, DCJ. Got a brand new member of the mob, and it's my guy, Big Money Sonny. It's been a while, Big Money Sonny. Thank you for becoming a member. Stand up, Big Money Sonny. You are officially in the building as a member of the Mob Squad. Thank you for your membership, Mob. You know what to do. Show Big Money Sonny some love. And Big Money Sonny, thank you for your membership and becoming a bronze member of the MOBB. Let's see. Kevin the PRF, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Kevin the PRF, writes, sell me on the term bend but don't break. I've always hated the philosophy, and after Sunday, I'm missing Greg Williams even more with our personnel. So I don't have a problem with bend but don't break, because the Patriots did it for years in New England with Brady as their quarterback. They would give up, it would be nothing for the Patriots to give up 400 yards of total offense in a game. Nothing. But guess what? With that 400 total yards of offense, you were only scoring 16 points because you were kicking 3 field goals in the red zone and you only got in once. That's what bend but don't break is. You're 1 of 4 in the red zone. If you're not scoring touchdowns, it's going to be hard to win in this league. I've seen teams give it up from 20 to 20, but when you get inside that red zone, they shut the faucet off. All the soft coverage, all the easy shit that you were getting to convert third downs and set up easy, manageable third downs, they shut that shit off. Now you got to get in the end zone, and we ain't having that. That's bend but don't break philosophy is, hey, you can have it. If you want 3rd and 3 and you convert that, cool. If you get 8 on first down, that's fine. You get a 15-yard chunk here on this 1st and 10. All right. But soon as you hit the 17-yard line, shit gets real. Soon as you hit the 8 and it's 1st and goal from the 8, now we got to turn it up a notch. Now you got to settle for this field goal. Or if you're feeling froggy, leap and go for it on 4th down. You might not get nothing. That's bend but don't break. I don't always love it, but I get it. And if you can pull it off, more power to you. I would much rather just get the hell off the field before any of that takes place. But again, I don't mind bend but don't break if it works. If I look up at the end of the game and you're 1 of 4 in the red zone, you did your job. Bend but don't break. And that team only scored 19 points. You did your job. Because you should win in this league if you hold a team to 19 points. You should win in this league if you hold a team to 20, like we did last week. To be honest with you. Chargers were 1 of 3 in the red zone. It's not like the Chargers were killing us. I think they were 1 of 3 in the red zone. Trying to think, what was their first touchdown? Austin Eckler, and then their second. No, they were 2 of 4 in the red zone because they had they recovered the fumble and then they threw the fade, back shoulder fade. So they were 2 of 4 in the red zone. But in any event, that's the bend but don't break philosophy. Not everybody subscribes to it, and I get it. But if you can pull it off, more power to you. Benjamin Collins, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. I'm going to read this comment right here, Ben. My guy Benjamin writes, I think Ron got too much power, although we're heading in a new direction. I think it will bite us later. We'll see. I'd much rather have it be a coach-centric approach with Ron having all of the power and say so than to have a middleman like Vinny Serrato or Bruce Allen tearing shit up here. At least the coach knows he won't be undermined by somebody, with an agenda or ulterior motive looking for more power and find himself embroiled in a power struggle within the organization with the owner. As long as Ron's got all the power and he's in control of everything, that can't happen. So I much rather, with the history that we have, I much rather it be the way that it is right now than the way that it was before. So anyway, I digress. Benjamin Bellamy, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Benjamin Bellamy writes, hey Lou, what's up, Benjamin? Long-time listener, first-time super chatter. Indeed, man. Glad to have you. Glad to hear from you. Says, do you think JD's lack of touches is a result of them trying to carve out a role for Jarrett Patterson? I don't think so, because if that were the case, then you would just give him JD's routes and let him run routes and catch the football. I just don't think they got around to getting JD McKissic involved, which is a farce. But this is why I say you need reps in the preseason. He didn't get any targets or touches in the preseason either. He barely played in the preseason, that JD McKissic. It's almost as if they said, oh, we know what JD McKissic can do. We don't need to see him. Then we get to week 1 and you continue doing the shit you did in the preseason, which is pretty much not using JD McKissic, which, again, I don't understand. I know he's going to be a free agent and you don't want to pay him, but that doesn't have anything with you not using him. Just don't pay him in the offseason. Let him get his bread elsewhere. But I don't think it's a situation where they're looking to carve out a role for Jarrett Patterson. So they want to, scale back on JD McKissic getting opportunities. He may cut into his snaps, but JD has a unique skill set. Jarrett Patterson is not that guy. He can't do the things that JD McKissic used to do. JD McKissic is an X-wide receiver. He's got a background that lends itself to him being able to do some of the things that make him a unique back in our backfield. He's more, to me, dynamic as a receiver than Antonio Gibson is. They keep trying to make Gibby out to be this extraordinary receiver, and I'm like, he's okay. He's not great. Let me get some of that JD stuff. You want to throw a screen? Let me get JD on that screen. I love Gibby. Let me get some of that JD, though. You want to run an option route with your back out of the back? Let me get that JD option route. Let me get that JD Texas route. I don't need to see Gibby on that. I don't need to see Jarrett Patterson on that. Let me get a dude that actually can break somebody off and make something happen. So I don't think it's a byproduct of, hey, we trying to get Jarrett Patterson out here, so JD's gonna suffer. I think you may see that in run touches. But in terms of, in the pass game, they need to throw it to JD McKissic more. Period. End of discussion. Thank you for the super chat, Benjamin Bellamy. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Metaphor writes, D-Hop ain't making field goals this week. 5 extra points, though. Man, I wish that were the case. If that was the case, we scored 35 points. We definitely winning with that. But until I see it, ain't no way we scoring 5 touchdowns in a game. I got to see that first. I hope you're right. I hope JP is right. I hope you're right. I hope this game is a clinic and a coming out party for Taylor Heinicke and the offense, and the defense is dominant. I hope that it's all of the above. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And thank you for becoming the newest member of the MOBB. Really appreciate you. Who writes, if we don't win by at least 14, I'll donate a fresh pair of kicks to the Mob Squad. My word is bond. I'll DM you, Lou. Salutes, brother. Let's get it. Well, he's confident. If we don't win by at least 14, he'll donate a pair of fresh kicks, he says. Well, I'm here to tell you, get ready to donate those fresh pair of kicks, Big Money Sonny, because I don't see us beating the Giants by 2 touchdowns or more. So, again, I hope you're right. I want to be wrong here, but I don't think I am. We'll see. We will see. Anyway, that's the last super chat. So now let's get to my final outcome and what I think is going to ultimately take place in this ball game. So I told you I've already guaranteed a win. So you guys know I think we're going to win the game. That's no secret. But I still think we find it tough to score 30. So I've got us scoring 29 in this game in a 29-19 victory over the Giants. And how do you get to 29 points? That's a weird number. I'll tell you. We scored 3 touchdowns in this game, and we also get 3 field goals from Dustin Hopkins, but he misses one of the extra points. That's how we get to 29. Okay, so you get 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals, 1 missed extra point from Dustin Hopkins, and we scored 29. The all-elusive 30 escapes us again, and I'll tell you, I'm going to just give you this sidebar. This isn't a comfortable 29-19 victory. We're up by 7, 26-19 late in this ball game. We get the football late with about 6 minutes to go. We are able to burn off a bit of clock, pick up first downs, get in the field goal range, and we're begging Dustin Hopkins to put this thing away from 47 yards out with about 2:10 left in the ball game. And sure enough, they send him out there, and Dustin puts it through the uprights to give us the 29-19 lead, push the score out to 2 scores, and that ends up being the final score in the game. We beat the Giants 29-19. But it was not easy. It was close, but we find a way to get it done. So that is my prediction for this game, and we'll see how this thing turns out. But I see a Giants football team that is very vulnerable, that is there for the taking. And if we just play our best brand of football, they shouldn't beat us. They shouldn't beat us. But if we do the things that we've done against the Giants routinely over the years, which is self-destruct, turn it over, forget how to take care of the little, small, minute details, like trading off a twist and stunt, and communicating like we did in the first game against them, which prompted the Kyle Allen fumble when a guy came scot-free and hit Kyle Allen and the ball came loose, then we'll lose again. If we forget how to stop the run or contain Daniel Jones, or we give up big explosive plays, we'll find a way to lose. But if we do the little things correctly and play the game the way we know we're capable of playing it, we're better than them, and we'll prove it. 29-19, I got Washington getting a much-needed dub. So that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on Washington Football Nightly Live. I am a Washington fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Washington spirit will never die. Washington spirit will never fold. Until we meet again, hail to our beloved Washington football team. Mob, you know what it is. We'll be live tomorrow watching the game together, hopefully bringing home the dub. I'll be a nervous wreck. I'm not going to lie to you. I want this one bad. And anytime I make a guarantee, I want it even more so. I don't want to fall to 0-2, man. And this one has a little bit more meaning to it because there's nothing worse than taking an L on a Thursday and then having to wait a full 10 days to get that taste out of your mouth. And there's nothing better than winning on a Thursday and then getting to watch all the games on Sunday knowing, hey, we already took care of business, man. We straight. No better feeling. That Thanksgiving win last year, clutch. Watching those games that Sunday, man, I had my arms and my feet kicked up. This is life. Yeah, we got it done on Thursday. Watch all y'all struggle on Sunday. I want to be able to do that this week. Get it done. Do it. Do it. Do it. So that's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. Until next time, you guys, take care. Thank you for joining me. God bless and good night.
Here comes the diesel. Here comes the diesel. There's the snap, hand to Riggins. Good hold. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone. The 35, the 30, the 20. He's gone. He's gone. Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
One more thing I forgot. Fellas, bring home the dub.
Here comes the Diesel. Here comes the Diesel. There's the snap, hand to Riggins. Good hole. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone.